Fractal number 26. This is 6 months of Fractal, so that's awesome. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining. We're here, and we've been having great discussions for the past 29 minutes, and I'm a bit regretful that we didn't start recording earlier, but we talked about the giveaway show and Center for Governance and pseudonymous fractals and Zeos and the NPT system and lots of other cool things. So maybe we'll start recording sooner in the future so everybody can hear these. But anyway, I just wanted to say hello and start recording. We're going to do breakout rooms in about a minute or so, and then we will also have discussions afterwards as well that people can, we can talk about these topics and many other things too. So yeah, thanks everybody. And if anybody has any thoughts or wants to say hello or anything like that before we go into the breakout rooms, then that would be very welcome, of course.
I'm going to say hello. Hello, everyone listening in. This is a really fun place, I assure you. So for anyone listening in, you too, who's looking at the recording later downwards, it's really a great community. So each Wednesday, we have a meeting around here with all these beautiful people right here. You're welcome to join. We have many discussions about everything related to EOS, but overall, just have a good time here discussing all things EOS related. So you're welcome to join anytime.
Thanks so much, Charles. Yep, absolutely agree. Everybody's welcome to join. Charles was actually just asking beforehand how we can make Eden+Fractal a great place, or I mean, it already is a great place, but make it even better place to welcome new community members to EOS and Eden in between elections. And there was great discussions about that. So thank you, Charles, for being so welcoming, kind. And I encourage everybody to also check out the giveaway show every Thursday at 17 UTC. Charles hosts an awesome show that's very welcoming for new community members and has just excellent discussions overall and lots of helpful resources there. So check that out as well. Cool. So we are a minute over, so I think it's a good time to go into the breakout rooms. We have 13 people, so I think that we'll go into 4 breakout rooms, if that makes sense to everybody. And we'll do 5, 5, and 3, or 4, 4, and 3, and maybe other people will join. I think that's a good idea to do the 3 breakout rooms, right? Yeah, I don't think we can do 2 breakout rooms, so I'll just start it up now and hope that everybody has an awesome time.
Long time no see.
True.
I think the last time in the Genesis Fractal, I haven't really had the time to join here because the time slot was just not so optimal for me. Now that it's a little bit later, that's better. But now the kids are awake and it's always very noisy, but yeah, I found a room.
A quickie. Are you also into the UTX staking, the Vigor 1 to Vigor 2?
I haven't staked yet, but I read about it. I also couldn't really follow up on that one. I know there's a lot going on, but
now I know you're busy with sales.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get back to the main thing today. Dan, you have a table, I believe, or the floor.
Okay, cool. Yeah, sounds good. Well, yeah, thanks so much for joining, Matthias, and thanks to everybody. So I suppose we can get right into sharing contributions and sharing what we've been doing, unless anybody has any thoughts you want to share first. Does anybody want to go first and share their contributions or share any other thoughts first?
I have a little question. I mean, I'm mainly curious about the delegation, how the delegates are being selected. So this is also happening within these breakout room sessions. It's we rank each other's contributions and like determine a delegate.
Yes, that's correct. So there's a new process that we've been doing for the past 7 weeks, 8 weeks now. Tadas created it. It's called the Eden+Fractal. And during this process, we meet for 55 minutes in this breakout room and During that time, we both do the Fractally process, ranking contributions 1 through 6, and also elect a delegate who serves on the council for 4 weeks and helps make decisions for the community.
Okay. Yeah, then go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, Dan, I'm very short and sweet as usual in my delivery of effort for Eden+Fractal, so I can go first if you don't mind.
Yep, sounds great. Thanks, Lenny.
I put it in the chat. It's just a few lines. And most of you would know that my main work-wise in EOS overall and also the fractals is the recaps, where I do weekly recaps, what I judge as things you should not miss in all those hundreds and thousands of posts everywhere and similar. So that's my main work, and that's on EOS, Eden on EOS, and then Eden member group, the private group out to the public, and the Eden+Fractal I've joined. And it's more coming up, but that's in future. And when it comes to invites, not yet invited anyone until we get a firmer grip on where we are here in Eden+Fractal. And similarly, last week I was level 3 and also elected delegate again. So that I'm on my 2nd week, I believe, on that election. That's me. That's a shortage, not short one. Thank you. And I pass. Yes, I should pass. I should pass to Tadas. Why not?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, so, yeah, so this week, well, first of all, stuff related most directly to Eden+Fractal is that yesterday I participated in a brainstorming session organized by Patrick with Dan and Lenny. We talked about a process for deciding on topics and proposals to discuss during the after breakout room sessions. And yeah, we specifically talked about Vlalendas, which Dan proposed and found some edge cases. So I think it was really productive. Other than that, I keep working on my Albedo project. More specifically, what I previously referred to as fractal blockchains. I decided to change a name. I didn't like this name, fractal blockchains, because I think what I'm creating can be used by other kinds of DAOs, which do not necessarily identify as fractals, or some DAO could start as a fractal, but later it could, for example, decide to change its governance so that it's not, so that it doesn't have much to do with Fractal, for example. So yeah, so that's why I didn't like the name fractal blockchains, and so the new name, how I refer to it, is Firmament. Maybe I will explain later why I chose this name, but basically it's a protocol for blockchains for a DAO, and a protocol for these DAOs to interact with each other. Yeah, and I started posting updates on this project where I basically cover what I achieve each day. It's a bit technical, so if you're not familiar with this background of this project, it might not be clear, but yeah, here you can see there what I did this week specifically on this project. Yeah, and I think that's all from this week. Thank you, and I will pass it on to Douglas.
Okay, great to see you all. Yeah, I probably haven't really done anything directly for the group. I'm just kind of like to hop in and see how things are going, measure my own metrics of the progress. One thing I am working on for like the wider Antelope community is expanding the music NFT standards, or the metadata standards that we wrote originally for EOS and Wax blockchain. And then I had a Pomelo grant related to expanding the standards, and I actually just got funded to do photos, but I decided to do like all the metadata standards. So I'm working on a repo to have basically schemas, which are organized metadata, which can hopefully help EOS to grow by providing an easier onboarding, both from an SEO perspective, and that means publishing articles and videos about it, as well as from the data perspective, just to have either fields that you copy and paste or copy into Antelope. So that being said, I haven't done any direct work. I'm mostly here just to check up, see how you guys are doing. And yeah, it's great to see y'all.
Thanks so much, Douglas. Really appreciate you joining and sharing your thoughts, and also following our progress and all the great work that you're doing in general, and also in the Antelope ecosystem. Would you like to pick or nominate somebody to go next? I think it's just me and Matthias who haven't gone yet, if I'm correct.
Okay, Dan, you're up.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. So here is some stuff that I've been doing. So to help EOS and Eden and help the community, I've been doing lots of different projects and lots of different work, as always, but new things. So this week, as always, or the past 8 weeks or so, I've been producing some videos with some nicer timestamps and thumbnails and stuff from the last week's Eden+Fractal meeting. So people can check out there and check out the timestamps and see all the different things that people are talking about. I shared this in a bunch of different groups this morning, and I'll also be sharing them sooner in the future as well. And I also produced a video for my presentation from last week about Vlalendas and also about other things. This was like this presentation that I'm doing right now, but I'm starting to produce videos from each of these presentations. And there's also some links and things here. And so I haven't shared this yet publicly, but I'm going to start sharing a lot more of these videos. This goes along with what I'm doing with DAMS, and which stands for Decentralized Autonomous Movie Studios, which you can learn about at edencreators.com/DAMS. I haven't really added much to this page specifically this week, but I've been developing this plan a lot and building a plan to raise funding to hire video editors and help produce lots of great videos from these Eden+Fractal meetings and from Fractal meetings in general. And all sorts of media that's going on in the EOS ecosystem. So there's a video here and lots of content where you can learn more about this if you're interested. And yeah, I think that this will be really helpful in the longer term to help promote these events and promote everybody's work. I think that we could make videos, lots of videos in each event. I hosted a town hall episode where we spoke about a game called Blue Jeju with Lee Fortin, who is a game developer and artist in the ecosystem. And we also talked about Vlalendas and a bunch of other things as well. Patrick made some great announcements, so I'll be publishing that soon, as well as some clips from lots of different town halls that I've been doing, or we've been doing lately. And I also participated in the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session where we talked about Vlalendas and agendas and different ways of organizing our time. I've been updating these posts at edencreators.com/agendas, where we're following progress and making proposals for agendas. So a lot of this I did last week, but at edencreators.com/agendas, you can learn all about what we're doing with agendas and the different proposals that have been made, including agendas and Vlalendas. And then I've also been working on some new ideas about, largely inspired by some feedback that Tadas shared about potentially hybrid voting power, where delegates could have voting points, like delegate voting power points. So I have a lot of notes here that I'll share in more details. Also some ideas about how we can improve the Eden+Fractal process maybe, but I'll share more of those soon. And then also working with an idea that Jorge shared too about the delegate voting power. So I've been working on those pages, but haven't shared them publicly yet. And there's also new updates to the Vlalendas, where I've just been updating with community progress. Thanks so much, Lenny and Tadas, for all the input there. And then I also had a meeting with Waxa about integrating Eden+Fractal on the Edenelections.com website. He's probably going to come share a proposal at some point soon, but he's going to put that on the website. So I'll share more details of that soon. I've also been meeting with and Matthias and Vlad and several other community members, and helping to set up the Zeos Fractal as well with pseudonymous Fractal. So thanks so much, Matthias, for that. And then one of the main projects I did this week was set up a Pomelo grant for Eden creators, where I curated a lot of different links and how we're creating public goods by creating exciting content and videos and articles and curating it and trying to write it well, and hosting fun events and helping to grow communities. So that's there. And just finally got that published, now it's under review. And then I made a lot of updates to the garden, where I've been curating a lot of these different articles about different projects that I've been working on to help the community. So that's that. Sorry, I didn't turn my timer on today, so I'm not sure if I went over time, but I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll pass it on now to Matthias.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Yeah, as I said earlier, I just joined back here. I haven't been here for several months, I guess. I came back mainly because I'm very curious about the how delegates are being selected here, because as Dan said, we are also working on a pseudonymous fractal. I don't know how much you guys know about the project I'm building on. It's a privacy project on EOS. We are about to release the mainnet application, not yet on the mainnet, but on the testnet, so that people can try it out and we can go into broader field testing. And in parallel to that, I'm working on, as Dan said, with him and Vlad, to get a pseudonymous fractal launched, because we have a lot of active community members, but they don't want to show their face, not necessarily because they are shy or whatever, because people just don't want to be related with privacy projects, especially not if they are residents of the US or Europe. So this is, I mean, what the points that Jesse brought up earlier were also very interesting. I think there could be several advantages to that, you know, to people not having to show their face and all that. It might, you know, enable more people to be willing to join. But the main intention behind that was really to protect people from the governments, as crazy as it sounds, but this is where we are today, right? And yeah, so that's basically what I'm working on full time the last months, getting the mainnet app out, which is almost done now. We're really just putting everything together now. We really hope that we can maybe release it at the end of this week or maybe next week. Not only depends on me, but also on another developer who's involved and who's not able to work full-time on that yet. So, you know, I have to always, you know, wait a little bit, you know, until he is at the point where we can continue with everything. But yeah, so yeah, I don't know. I'm really just curious about the process here, especially when it comes to the delegation and also the decision making. I'm just happy to join back. So I'm happy to take the last rank today. Really, just I'm really unprepared. I try to prepare my presentations a little bit better the next times. But yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And maybe I share the article real quick in the chat in case you guys are interested what we were talking about. The pseudonymous fractals, that's something I'd really like to try. And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Great. Thanks so much, Matthias. Really excited for the pseudonymous fractals. And
yeah, me too. Let's see how it works. I invite everyone here to join, of course. Again, yeah, you can do it anonymously. We are the thing is there are a lot of people have questions how exactly this is going to work. So we should maybe put out some more info. Still be required, I think, because of symbol resistance in these calls. To add what Jesse said earlier, because there's also another thing to that. People could also impersonate other people.
It's breaking up a little bit, and right now Matthias is frozen for me.
Yeah.
You're all frozen. I don't know if you guys can hear.
We heard that. We heard you're all frozen. I don't know if you guys can hear you, and then nothing else after that. Looks better now.
I don't know. My internet connection is not so stable here. I'm really sorry. I don't know how much you guys could hear me, could hear from what I'm saying. I was just about to say, to add to what Jesse said, you're still all frozen on my screen. I don't know if I don't know what's wrong. It's always in these video calls. Yeah.
We can see you and hear you pretty clearly
Normally
right
it works
now.
better. Okay, okay, thanks. Yeah, I all frozen on my screen. I don't know what's going on, but so the problem that people could impersonate other people and claim their contributions. So that's something why I think it's important to link social media profiles to the EOS account or whatever account is required for the voting later. And here, of course, it's the EOS account on EOS as well. But yeah, and also having some kind of inauguration process, maybe, as we had in the Eden community. So there are a lot of thoughts to that. So I invite everyone to join who's interested in that. You know, also if you have some ideas, I think this whole process is super interesting, super powerful. And I would really like to try it out in a, you know, pseudonymous way so that people, you know, also from more, yeah, no, from places can join where this is, you know, maybe, you know, where it's like not so, how to say that, you know, places like the US, you know, where I really have to worry about the government coming up with weird rules all of a sudden and prosecute you for participating in the governance of a DeFi project, because this is where we are heading. And I think the only way forward is to have some user privacy in these meetings, and this only works with pseudonyms. So yeah, that's the idea. I'm very excited about that.
Yeah, thanks so much, Matthias. I'm very excited about it too, and I'm definitely looking forward to exploring this more. And I think it'll also be fun too, in addition to helping people be safer and all sorts of benefits like that, where people can express themselves more freely, and also maybe have some fun avatars and tell like really interesting, fun stories with it too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and thank you. Does anybody have any questions or comments or thoughts for anybody before we move on to consensus? I'd be curious to hear a bit from Douglas. I know you said, and you shared the link for the Antelope NFT metadata standards. And yeah, I listened to a couple of your recent talks with Gabriel, Douglas, and okay, so just the repo was open. But yeah, I'd be curious if you want to just provide any more details about it, because I'm really interested. I haven't had much chance to follow up, but it sounds awesome what you're doing with NFTs and music. And I'm also curious to hear about updates with CXC World. Of course, we have somewhat limited times, and you don't have to go into detail, but if you want to share anything more, I'd be curious to hear it.
Yeah, I'll keep it in like 2 minutes. So basically, like, I've realized the importance of metadata, and I apologize, I'm at my grandparents' house and there's a bunch of noise. So I've started to create something called Xmas, which is like an extensible metadata system. And you know, that is sort of wider than even a blockchain. It's just like, okay, we're at a point where we have all these standards organizations, the ISO and things like that, but we haven't gone down to information and made it anything that people can bounce off. And there's surprisingly few you know, accepted protocols, accepted ways to make data, so that, or to package data. So these large corporations, Twitter or whatever, they create standards for their specific use case. So I'm inspired to create sort of baseline data standards that are future forward compatible. Like with the CXC music standard, it's geolocational. We include ISO fields if you want to put in like the 3-letter country code, or you can put in the actual location, right? They're all optional. You don't have to tag the things, but it's forward facing. And the idea is that if we're creating these futuristic data systems, we need data points now, which we can then apply there, right? So I was creating that, and then I was like, okay, well, I still need to fulfill my obligations because I did reach the funding level for the photo standard. And I thought, okay, well, why not just create the first extensible media standard on Antelope? And then I backtracked and thought, okay, well, it's probably more useful if I just actually create the data standards for individual things, right? Update on CXC. CXC is sort of like not my main focus. I'm working on Aquarius Academy right now. I've been working with our team member, Claudio, who is currently, he has the option on his plate if he wants to take over CXC and sort of be the leader. And I would take more of a grandfather advisor role. That will be starting in Q1. So we're sort of like, I guess, coasting until Q1, where we may have new leadership at CXC. And yeah, I think that was about it. And that was 2 minutes. So I think that wasn't too much time.
Cool. Yeah, thanks so much, Douglas, for the update. And so I didn't realize that you weren't going to be focusing on it mostly. So the Aquarius, that's Aquarius.academy, right? Okay, cool. Well,
yeah. And we're doing cool stuff with like learn to earn there. I just was in a hackathon for Near and built out like a learn to earn system so that if you take a course on, I wrote Tetra.earth is the thing. Tetra's the head company, which will contain CXC and also contain Aquarius Academy, as well as sub projects of those two. But yeah, the exciting thing there is like, I figured out how to use WordPress using the WP-JSON to get information about the students' quizzes, and then we can send people tokens for learning. So my next sort of big project after we get our content is to integrate a learn to earn system, which I hope to make more extensible. The code now, like it can be deployed on pretty much any blockchain, depending on how you deploy on the back end. So I think it's something exciting. It's not quite ready to share widely, but that's what I've been working on in that direction.
Sounds great. I'm looking forward to seeing more about this and exploring more. I've checked it out a bit in the past, and I'm looking at the website now. It looks awesome. So yeah, thank you for this work and looking forward to more. And then another thing that I'll just say as a general note too is I encourage everybody, if you want to share your screen during a presentation, that's cool and it helps people understand. Like the Aquarius Academy has a pretty beautiful website. So if during a future presentation you wanted to come and share it and then help promote it more and help show people, Douglas, or with with anybody's project, then that would be cool. And when we do produce more videos like us talking with Dan, so we can help make videos for everybody promoting their projects here and get multiple things done at once. Well, anyway, does anybody have any other thoughts before we go to consensus or questions? If not, then we can vote for level 6.
Waxa and Matthias can't remember how we did this.
Yeah, we just drop the rank 6 in the chat. Is this the way you're doing it? And vote for yourself. It's all fine, right? No matter.
Unless someone argues against it, I'm good either way.
Okay.
But you got it.
Okay. Yeah, it has been a while. Thanks, Lenny. And maybe someone can just share the link real quick, right? For the web interface. What was it again?
Yes, I don't remember exactly. It's still got a weird website name, so I'll share it in the.
Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks.
Yeah, at some point we should get a better website name for that to make it easier.
Now we're gonna make this all Web3 soon. I don't know if you guys saw that. You can now upload your website directly into LiquidStorage and fetch it with your browser. It's also something that we added just recently. It's gonna be really cool. We're gonna, of course, we were gonna improve that way better. We are also still planning on making a little browser application to, have a real EOS surfing experience, basically. And yeah, it's all gonna be censorship resistant and surf directly from not blockchain nodes in this case, but the DSPs.
And
So,
what do we? Well, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. Well, what do we put for the delegate?
The delegate will do afterwards. So that's the Eden+Fractal process that we were talking about before. But basically after we do the ranking of level from 1 to 6, then we'll select a delegate and we'll choose one of us to represent our group in the council for the next 4 weeks. Makes sense. Is everybody ready to do level 6?
I'm sorry. So like we put in the EOS account name, right?
Yes, but we don't have
So
to
you're
do.
just Dan, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Well, I'll
But
put mine here.
just to make sure, I think you know this, Douglas, but we'll just do it in the Zoom chat first. And then,
Okay.
and so I'll write like level 6 in the Zoom chat, and then we'll go 3, 2, 1, and then we will hit enter on whoever's name you think it should be. And then after we come to consensus about everything at the end of the meeting, then we'll input it into the app.
Okay.
Okay, so level 6. I keep spelling level wrong. That's okay. And I think that everybody is ready to go. If we go, say 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay. Looks like there's consensus on me. So thank you, everybody. I appreciate it very much. And we can go on to level 5. Is everybody ready for level 5? 3, 2, 1, and go. So it looks like Matthias has 2 votes and Tadas has 3 votes. And I think that Matthias voted for Tadas and Tadas voted for Tadas. Okay.
I'll change to Tadas.
Okay. So we have consensus with Tadas now. And we can go on to level 4. Yeah, thanks for the great work, Tadas. Is everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, and go.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and level 3. Is everybody ready? 3, 2, 1, and go. And it looks like there's consensus with Lenny as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was quite quick. And then that means that Douglas is at level 2. And we can move on to delegate consensus. That was very quick. So we can do delegate consensus selection in the same way, where we write in the Zoom chat who we think should be delegate. First, I think it's best to ask who's interested in being a delegate. And if anybody has any more questions about how being a delegate or this process works, then feel free to ask as well.
I'm interested in being a delegate. I'm not currently a delegate. Wasn't a delegate for a few weeks now, and yeah.
I have a general question. Have there been any major decisions that had to be made by the delegates, as since you established this delegate system, so to speak? Has there been anything interesting already that you guys decided or came to decide?
Yes, I see Tadas unmuted though.
Yeah, we decided we changed the time. Previously it was 13 UTC. So I think that's the only decision, and we made it in a few steps. We first made the decision that we need to change the time, and then we agreed on the specific time.
And are there currently things that that require governance? I mean, for instance, when it comes to the protocol that we are building, there are really a lot of concrete things that need to be set, right? Protocol parameters and all that stuff. I was wondering, since this fractal here is not really that much involved in the overall governance of EOS itself, is there anything on the horizon right now where you guys say, that requires maybe some special qualification or something of delegates? I mean, if I would decide to say, hey, I would like to be a delegate, what is there to expect right now? Or is it really not that much yet, and it's really more trying the system? I'm just curious to hear some thoughts about that.
Yeah, so we currently are trying to decide on an additional system to this. So we have a system for passing proposals, but we don't have a system to decide which proposals get a chance to be voted on and so on. And in general, what do we do after the breakout room sessions? Because someone who controls what we do, what we discuss, and what we can pass during the after breakout room sessions, they have basically ability to censor people and so on. So we are currently working on a system to choose topics to discuss. Basically, what Dan proposed, Vlalendas. It's a system to decide on these things.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's in the near future. That's what we are trying to decide on. And in the future, I expect there to be more technical questions as well that we will have to decide. For example, a lot of stuff that we are currently doing in Eden+Fractal could be automated and so on. So, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll also add on to that. Thanks, Matthias, for asking, and thanks, Tadas, for the great answer. So a couple things. First, I'll share some links in the chat if anyone's interested in learning one. I showed this before, but this is a link about Eden+Fractal that I curated lots of the details from Discord and these videos with timestamps and so forth. So you can learn more about that at edencreation.com/plus or Eden+Fractal. And then also there's a page about time too, which goes into more detail about the two proposals that Tadas mentioned. One was to change the time, and one was the time that we changed it to. So we did that over the course of 2 weeks. It's fairly slow as we're starting to crawl and so forth and making proposals in the beginning, but we're getting the process refined. And so that was a big first milestone to change the time. And then, yeah, as we get these proposal and topic selection systems and agenda creation systems so we can prioritize proposals, then we'll have many more proposals and much higher capacity to be able to review proposals and pass proposals. So one of the main things that we're trying to get passed this week, or if we can do it this week, that'd be great, or next week, because we're still in active conversations about how to exactly do this process, but passing a proposal for how we'll set agendas in the future. And Tadas mentioned Vlalendas. So I'll share a link to that as well, to edencreation.com/Vlalendas or agendas. Shows some of the different ideas that we've been having about how to organize that time so that delegates can have more power. And then basically, I don't know if you asked it, Matthias, directly, but in case it's not clear, basically the responsibilities of delegates would be basically to be there for the hour afterwards, after the Eden+Fractal consensus meetings, after we finish the breakout room, rather, be there for the community room. Delegates don't have to be, but it's encouraged so that we can be able to pass proposals, because if delegates aren't there, then that makes it more difficult to pass proposals. So being there for the hour after the breakout rooms, and then just basically, if you're able to read proposals and keep up to date and share your thoughts and make good decisions, then that's all very helpful for the community as well, for delegates to be thinking about it and to be there and to make good decisions on behalf of the community. And then there's also lots of proposals too on consortium. So I made several proposals about a month or two ago too, about like potentially allocating some Eden respect points to people who post on Eden Talk BBS or different applications. So there's lots of ideas that people that I've shared so far, but we're not currently really addressing any of these proposals. But if you want to check out some previous proposals, then you can check out the link to the consortium I just shared in the chat as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, Dan. Some of the websites you already shared last time. Is there? I guess that on EdenCreators.com there are links to all that, right? I haven't really had the time to look into this.
Yes, at EdenCreators.com/garden. That's kind of like the blog site where there's links to each of them. And then, yeah, some of them I shared last time or previously, because a lot of these I've been updating as time goes on. So like the agendas page, for example, has been in development for like 2 months or so. And I just made some more updates over the past 2 weeks.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
You're welcome, of course. Yeah, and Lenny just shared the recaps too. Thanks so much, Lenny, for doing these recaps and then also sharing it too. It's a very helpful way to also promote Eden+Fractal too. So I really appreciate you sharing in all the different groups as well. Is anybody interested in being a delegate other than Tadas? And does anybody have any other questions or thoughts about the process or in general? I'll say I'm interested in being a delegate too, although I was elected a delegate last week, and I know Tadas said that he's not elected as a delegate this week, so I'd be happy to vote for Tadas as a delegate. And I think it'd be better if Tadas was a delegate than me in this week. Tadas, as we were saying before, Tadas has been innovating greatly with the Eden+Fractal process and Albedo and all sorts of things. So I think Tadas makes it great. It makes an excellent delegate for the group. But also, I know Lenny's doing great work too, and he's been very thoughtful reviewing proposals. And Lenny's also does great work as a delegate. Although I think Lenny is a delegate already. And so far, just
I got
Tadas
elected in
it.
last week. I got elected in last week, so I'm okay.
Okay, cool. And yet, Douglas and Matthias, you guys want to be delegates? Then that would, I see you guys are shaking your head no, I think, but that'd be awesome at some point. But no pressure now, obviously. And I think Tadas would do a great job too. So.
Yeah, I think that's great. I mean, I would vote for Dan or Tadas easily, but yeah, since Dan's already a delegate, I would certainly think Tadas is a lot to do, and I would vote for Tadas. And I was going to ask, are we going to like do the same thing where we just share the name in the chat, or like a 3-2-1 thing? Or are we just kind of talking it out?
I think either way could work. I've already said Tadas basically, and you have too, but we can do the Zoom chat if you guys want. Either way works.
Did we have any other candidates?
I don't think so.
No, and I'm for Tadas in any case, so that's 3 of us for now.
Yeah, same here. I think that's also the cool thing about these processes, right? It's super flexible, and in this particular case, I think if no one has a strong disagreement here, then it's pretty much decided, right? That's really cool about these small groups, that like consensus building is so easy, right, among just a few people, especially if we're all aligned with our interests, where we'd like to go. So yeah, I'm just I will try to join back every week and just get a better feeling for that. Also stay around afterwards to see a little bit more what delegates are doing and how decisions are being made, because I think that's exactly what what governance at the end also has to do, right? We have to come to concrete decisions about things, not just ranking contributions, right? But really having some kind of governance about something. And yeah, that's something that didn't really take place in the Genesis fractal yet. So from my understanding, the Eden fractal is like the first one now that is really doing this. And yeah, I think that's very important to explore these things.
Yep, I absolutely agree. And I'm excited. We're pioneering new territory. Genesis fractal only passed like 1 or 2 proposals, and they're pretty basic over time. But now this has been one of our main focuses. I'd be very interested to hear more of your thoughts, Matthias, and also from Douglas, and kind of from, you guys haven't been here for a while. I know Douglas was saying you're checking out and seeing the progress, but this has been one of our main focuses over the past couple months, past few months first with the Eden+Fractal process and this process for delegates, and then now more lately for proposal systems and agenda systems and so forth. And once we complete these, as we're like nearing towards getting a good kind of agenda system, then we'll be able to pass lots of proposals and pioneer and innovate in lots of exciting new ways, and then also share these processes with other communities as well.
Just really quick, Lenny, not sure what you mean, but I haven't voted yet. I will enter the names in a minute.
No, it's just sometimes people forget to change the name up in our screen, so we can't rely on those only. So,
So
normally we try to put in the names, like I put Lenny.n for myself. So just so we make sure we have the right levels, right people, right accounts. Good.
right. Yeah, I just posted my EOS account name. I will change it here. It's still my Steemit account name in the bracket, so it's M Schönebeck. But yeah.
Thanks, Tadas, for sharing that in the chat.
And Dan is Dan, I believe.
Correct.
Also, right. And then in the delegate field, we just put the, right, as he posted. All right, thanks.
I believe it was number one, the room. Eh?
Yes, this is room number 1.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And we've still got like 10 minutes left for this, so now we can hang out, chill, and talk about whatever everybody wants.
We should have had that drummer guy here, but anyway.
Right? Well, maybe Tadas can play some drums or beatbox for us. Or actually, or Douglas. Douglas raps, and Douglas, I feel like Douglas probably also does beatboxing too. Well, we're just rapping.
Before he goes off now here, hey, Douglas, have you checked up anything what Dwayne and Eric and those guys are doing?
No, I
related
haven't.
to NFTs, music, arts, and stuff?
No, what are they doing? Send me a link.
Oh, I don't have it in front of you, but I'll think of you after this. No worries. No, it's on the alien world and also these other things. They're doing various things and trying to even put up a center, art center of of excellence up on the alien world, planet Ike and other things. So they are working on different things. Maybe you might have an interest on it. I'll toss you some links later.
Cool. Yeah, Alien Worlds is a big thing, and it's I'm always curious like what they can do with their DAO, because I know it's like pretty extensible, like their DAO system. I guess just from listening, being in the Twitter spaces where the one person always comes in and talks about Alien World DAO. I think Dan knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, if it's integrated with that would be super interesting.
Good one.
Yeah, but I'm probably not gonna rap because I'm at my grandparents' house.
That makes sense.
I don't think they don't appreciate hip hop culture as much as I do.
Well, maybe you can ask your grandparents to lay down a beat for you and do some beatboxing for you too, so they're taking part in the rapping too.
Maybe if I go outside. I like to beatbox. Does anybody else here beatbox?
Cool. I try. I try a little bit. I'm not very good at it though.
Okay, I'll do the hi-hat.
Okay. I don't know if it would work well with latency. It might sound weird.
Yeah.
But
Oh man.
Boom, boom.
We're sitting in Florida. We're on EOS, but we're more of the state of mind where we can find a place where we can rhyme. We're up in EOS, but I feel the opposite of stressed. I feel blessed for every day the sun rays as it shakes my molecular shapes and places me in a different place where I can take my space and make it amazing grace. Every single day here at Fractally to stay, we're growing in a recursive way.
Wow, was that a
Woo!
freestyle or what?
Yeah.
Not bad.
Very nice.
Thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Well, yeah, thanks for sharing. I remember for a while you were sharing some freestyles on your YouTube channel too. I watched some of those and they were awesome. And then you also have NFTs too with well, you have CXC.world, which is the app, which you're not working on as much now, but then you also had the CXC NFTs or different NFTs. So, and some of them were wrapping as well.
Yeah, we have I mean, CXC is not going anywhere. Like the site has been up for years and it's going to keep being up. And I'm going to share the link to the NFT part. But yeah, we have, I think it's either NFT or NFTs. I think it's NFTs. But yeah, we wrote a music NFT standard, and then we have a map that if you have a music NFT, you just put in the atomic assets ID whenever you post the music. And then we have like a display of just music NFTs. So I teach a course on how to freestyle rap.
Nice.
So
I didn't know that.
if you want to look, you could Google like how to freestyle rap Douglas and it'll probably come up.
Is that on Aquarius or is that a different area?
No, it's on Skillshare and Udemy, but it's actually like it's really popular. Like if you Google like top freestyle or top rap courses,
Awesome.
it'll come up. So I'm really into it, and yeah, I've definitely been making like tons of freestyles. The freestyle journals I still do, but I moved them onto Amon the Wind, and then I'm also like I've rearranged the letters of my name to be like Gudasol, and I'm gonna start releasing a lot more music with that. And then I've recorded like 2 freestyle albums in the past week, so I just do freestyle all the time. And it's just like it's how I sort of channel information from the universe, and like sometimes I get so much information I can't like make it fit in other things, so I just kind of like freestyle, and sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not, but like I feel like as a human expressing myself, I need to continually share it, otherwise it just gets clogged up and then I have no creative force.
Super cool. Awesome. Well, yeah, congratulations on the course. That's really cool. And I'm going to look into this more after, but that's awesome. That's so popular and you're helping everybody freestyle or helping so many people freestyle. And then, yeah, that's cool. I didn't realize how often you did it, but that's great. I freestyle a little bit here and there, and I want to start freestyling more. I've been singing more lately. So, and I think that it'd be really cool to make these kinds of meetings and do them in musical ways too. So I'm looking forward to lots of musical collaborations. We've been talking about it for a while, but
yeah, we need to get on it.
Here,
let's do it.
Yeah.
Like if you send me a track that just has like a chorus with you singing and then you leave me blank space, I'll send you back a track with vocals.
Okay.
Or with rap verses. We can do it. I'm down.
Yes, let's definitely do it. I'll do that sometime soon. I've been super busy. I have like a huge backlog of things I'm trying to get done. So I'll do it as soon as I can. And I'm very much looking forward to it.
Yeah, I feel you 100% on that. And like, honestly, I just jumped into this meeting like, oh man, I need to forget about everything and just go to a happy, safe space and see you guys. And I'm super grateful to be here and see friendly, happy, familiar faces working on similar things together.
Awesome. Yeah. Awesome, and likewise, I'm super happy you joined too, and very grateful for you, Douglas, and Matthias, and Tadas, and Lenny, and everybody here. I'm really excited about what we're doing, and I'm looking forward to music collaborations. I'm glad that this can be a fun place and a safe place where you enjoy it too. It is for me as well.
Yeah, Patrick, shout out Patrick for like pushing the music. Like he is not afraid to share his voice, and I love that. And also I saw like the yeah baby push it on chain. Like
yeah,
this is Patrick speaking. Oh man,
yes.
I love it.
That was a hijacking. That was a hijacking, that one.
That was Vlad who did it, actually. Vlad decided. I mean, Patrick asked him to do it, but then Vlad added the yeah baby thing in the UI on his own volition, own idea.
Oh, that's great. So did we get everything on chain? I think I posted mine.
I'm just at to post mine, but you can also check it too at blocks.io/account/Eden+Fractal. That's where you can confirm and see if your transaction went through. So I see transaction from Lenny and Tadas and Matthias and you. So yeah, the only person who hasn't done it yet is me, and I'll do it in a minute. Also too, I wanted to add what we were talking about Alien Worlds as well a few minutes ago. So I encourage everybody to join the Alien Worlds Fractal meetings. Those are a great place to learn about Alien Worlds. There's awfractal.com where you can find just a basic link to that Dwayne put together. Dwayne hosts those meetings every Thursday at 17 UTC. And we do a similar process. There's more people in the Wax community and Alien Worlds community there, but there's been some intermixing. But yeah, those are awesome and a great place to learn more about Alien Worlds. And they have Alien Worlds. It's one of the longest running fractals, and we have great meetings and doing really cool work. And it's also really exciting. It's the most popular game, so it's a great place to learn and meet people, and really cool as well.
Are there recordings of those consensus meetings from Alien World?
Yes.
Yeah. Where do I find them? Because I'm also very curious, because this also was like a closed system application, right? Like similar to what we're doing with the zeros. I don't know. They also have their own tokens or an Alien World token or something?
Yeah. So for fresh off the recordings, I'll share links in the chat in a moment, but they're at the Crown DAC channel on YouTube is where Dwayne posts most of the videos. And then I also have a playlist on the Eden Creators YouTube channel, although it's a little bit outdated. I have to update it with some of the recent videos that Dwayne shared. So the Crown DAC YouTube channel is the best place to find it right now. I also have a page that I'll share where I've been curating some links where you can see some interviews with Dwayne about it as well. And then it operates independently of the Alien Worlds DAO as a whole. So Alien Worlds has the Trillium token, and that's the main token. It has like a $50 million market cap or something like that. It's pretty big. And they have council members and delegate system. I think that's basically proof of stake or proof of delegate stake, where people can be elected governors of different planets. And then Dwayne started up this separately, where he rewards some Trillium tokens and then also has a non-tradable, just like respect token, I believe, that operates with the fractal process independently of the larger DAO.
Okay. I'm just curious, because the people who are participating there, those are really just, they have nothing to do, right, with Fractally or so. They really just join because they are like gamers, right? And I mean, like the whole community there is really completely separate, right, from all the faces that I see here or in the Genesis Fractal.
There is a big overlap. So we only have about a minute or so before I have to close out this room, but just to briefly answer, and we can go into more detail another time. Well, lately Dwayne hasn't been promoting as much lately. So at a time there was like 17 or 18 people joining, and there's lots of Alien Worlds community members. That was like a month ago. But the past couple meetings, there's only like 6 of us or so, and it's a lot of overlap, like with myself and Dwayne and several people like Vlad who are at this meeting. So there's a mix of both just fractal governance enthusiasts and Alien Worlds and Wax enthusiasts. And yeah, I'll start closing the rooms now. So we'll have 60 more seconds to discuss things. But yeah, it's really cool though. And yeah, I'll also follow up with those links too in a couple moments.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. It was a very interesting meeting again.
Absolutely. Yeah, thanks so much, everyone.
Yeah, good to see you guys. I'm going to just leave to the breakout room.
Yeah, good to see old faces. Some of you haven't seen for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been cool having Matthias and Douglas back. Good to see you guys.
All right.
Hey everyone, hope you had a great time in your breakout room. We're back here for at least the next hour or so to discuss proposals perhaps and have open discussion. I see Charles is smiling and you're muted. I don't know if you're trying to say something. It looks like you're happy with something though.
No, I just saw the yeah baby on the validating the place.
Hello guys. I was joining lately. I was in the room with Bishop and Vlad, and I am leveled nobody. I have asked to be leveled at not at all because I was joining very late, and I just joining to respect to be here and say you hello everyone. And by the way, we have the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session yesterday. I am finishing the video editing. I will publish today. There will be a swarm. That will be nice. Yeah, baby. And that was a nice one yesterday. There was Lenny, very happy, seems to be. He was there. And there was Dan, for sure. There was also Vlad, and there was Tadas. And Dan, that's all. And Pat Novajoy, by the way. What to say? Oh, Pat Novajoy is stating that he's very happy of our work. By the way, Pat Novajoy is my virtual assistant. When Patrick is not fulfilling what he say, you have Pat Novajoy coming and stating to Patrick, you have to do what you say. What you say, Pat Novajoy? He said that I am fulfilling what I say. That's nice. I think you should have everyone joy. You have Dancing Joy here. You have Brendan Lovejoy. You have Pat Novajoy. And I propose you to have a joy, everyone, to help you when you are not fulfilling what you say. That would be nice.
So we need to have two of you now?
We have Dancing Joy and Pat Novajoy. That's already something. By the way, we are doing the Antelopes workshop Eden+Fractal update number 3 that will be published on December 9. And we have here Vlad. I have interviewed about CETF, and I will interview today Matthias about an update of ZEOS, the private transaction on EOS. We have Tadas here on the San Francisco Bridge. I love the San Francisco Bridge. I love. Tadas is here. No, he's muted. Okay.
Yeah, my computer froze and now
wow.
The blurred background does not work anymore.
By the way, you see the picture of Jorge Ramos. That's the Peñol in Medellin. That's a mountain, very well known in Medellin. If you go in Medellin, in Colombia, visit the El Peñol.
Oh, I love Medellin. Best place in the world.
No, Medellin, not Medellin, Medellin.
No, I think the Colombians say Medellin. They also say
Medellin.
They have a slang there.
That's beautiful, Medellin, Bogotá, Bucaramanga, toda la Colombia, claro que sí. Bueno. So, all right. Let's move on.
All right, sounds good. So anyway, I wanted to say thank you, Pat Novajoy, for joining and sharing all the great thoughts and enthusiasm, and I love it.
Thank you, Pat Novajoy. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for passing on to Pat Novajoy, and also, of course, Patrick, you're welcome to also earn respect when joining late. I mean, if you want to join late and still earn some respect, then that's cool. But
no,
yeah, anyway,
no.
Okay.
I am the sponsor of the Eden+Fractal. Remember, I have funded Eden+Fractal with 3,000 EOS for the rewards through the MSIG. So I propose today to not be rewarded myself, okay? Thank you very much.
Okay.
Pat Novajoy is agreeing. He's my accountant. What to say, Pat Novajoy? Okay. He's my accountant and he is accepting that I am not rewarded, okay? So give my funds to the others. Split my funds to others.
Okay, sounds good. That'll happen automatically.
Back
to services. Okay.
Yeah, baby.
Cool. So a couple of things. One, I saw Jorge was thanking Dwayne for a donation on Pomelo, and just as a reminder, there's lots of people with great Pomelo pitches in the Eden community, and Pomelo's been going for a week or so now, so I encourage everybody to help support each other on Pomelo. Lots of great work going on, so thanks everybody for all the great work in the community. And then also, if anybody has any thoughts that you want to share or questions, then feel free to share. And then one thing that I'm curious about is if we have enough delegates to pass proposals. Well, actually two things. So one, Matthias was asking some questions about the Alien Worlds fractal meeting. So I'll share some links in the chat about that shortly. If anybody's interested in checking that out, I encourage people to check it out. That's tomorrow, Thursday at 17 UTC, which is the same time as the giveaway show tomorrow. So lots of great things to check out tomorrow. But yeah, I'm also curious, in addition to that, if we have enough delegates. Tadas has shared the spreadsheet. So perhaps the thing we might want to discuss is the agenda proposals and agendas and Vlalendas and the system that we'll use. That's what we just discussed during the brainstorming session yesterday. And we made some progress, made a lot of progress on figuring out great agenda systems. I don't know, there's not currently a proposal on consortium or anything like that for a succinct thing, because we made some slight updates and changes yesterday. So I don't know if we want to just have an open discussion about that, or if we want to try to pass any proposals, or if there's anything else we want to discuss. And Vlad said, seems yes, enough delegates, only Jesse is missing. So if we want to pass a proposal for a basic version of Vlalendas or some other proposal, then we can do that as well. And yeah, I'll leave it at that, and I'm looking forward to hearing your thoughts.
I just want to say, when you will see the update that we do on the second episode of the fractal brainstorming session of yesterday, you will understand very well what is Vlalendas. Vlalendas, that's Vlad, Lenny, and Adidas. No, Tadas, sorry. Vlalendas. That's the iteration of the agendas. That's very well done. And that's very well explained in the video of yesterday. Very well one. That's like a recap, but in a YouTube. That's perfect. And it's 30 minutes, 40 minutes of your time to see this video. That's short and all time stamped. So watch the video of yesterday and read the Medium, the articles by Dan and all. But if you watch the video, you will understand very easy what is doing Vlalendas, and that's good for Eden+Fractal that we are doing. And Tadas was doing good comments on the Vlalendas, and Lenny and Tadas, Vlad, Tadas, Lenny. That was nice. So I encourage you to watch the video when it will be published today. Just after this Eden+Fractal, I will go straight away for the publishing.
Yeah, thanks again so much for hosting that and for organizing that. And I was very happy to participate and co-host with you, Patrick. And yeah, encourage
thank you very
to
much.
Watch it.
My dance enjoy. Yeah.
Yes.
And Vlad.
And then there's also the first one too, from last week, where people can learn more about agendas, yeah, which is very helpful and insightful information as well. I see Tadas has hands up as well.
Shout out to Tadas.
Yeah,
Tadas.
I think we still need to discuss some things about Vlalendas. Specifically, I'm very curious, Dan, what you think about the question I raised earlier and that we discussed a little bit yesterday, but we didn't get to your opinion on that specific question. If delegates should be able to override the Vlalendas by changing the topic order or introducing new topics. And
yeah, thanks for bringing that up again, Tadas. And yeah, so that was so Tadas asked some great questions in the Discord chat, in the Eden Discord chat, and we discussed them in pretty good detail yesterday, and that'll be in the video. But there's some parts that we didn't get to yet, and so one of the questions was whether the council can override. So just to provide a very basic introduction to Vlalendas for anybody who hasn't checked out the article yet or hasn't watched these yet, and I'll provide a link at edencreators.com/Vlalendas where people can learn more. But basically, the idea is pretty simple. There's a 4-step process where people can submit proposals for topics on consortium, and then people can vote for different topics. And currently the way the consortium works is where people can vote with Eden respect points or respect tokens that are earned during these meetings. And then whichever proposal gets the most votes would be what we discuss first, whether it be a proposal or it be an announcement or a promotion. It's basically people propose whatever topic, and whatever gets the most votes gets discussed first. The person who presented it can then, or the person who proposed it can then present it for 5 minutes or delegate someone else to present it. And then that can be discussed for as long as the Eden+Fractal Council wants, and the Eden+Fractal Council can decide when to move on to the next topic. So you might just do one topic during a week, or you might be able to do 10 topics during the week, depending on how long each topic takes. And so I think that in general, this seems to be a good way to do it. Interested to hear any more general feedback. If anybody has any ideas or thoughts or questions or comments. Tadas asked the question, well, should it just be people who can vote with their respect points or respect tokens? Or should the Eden+Fractal delegates and council be able to choose a topic to begin with, or change topics even before they happen? And so there's a lot to share here, but there's part of me that wants to find my notes that I wrote yesterday because I was a bit more organized. But I think I can wing it pretty well and explain some
I have
thoughts.
put into the chat here.
Okay.
I have put into the chat here. If you open the image, that's what you have discussed yesterday, that the notes updated into the mind map, by the way. The mind map will be published with the video of yesterday. We have a mind map for Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. And I have put all the notes of what we discussed of Tadas yesterday, all is in. So you can click the image here, capture.png, and you have all what we discussed about the remark of Tadas about Vlalendas. Voila, all is there. You can see.
Yes, that sounds great.
I am not
published
the mind map yet because I have to include into the mind map the recorded session of yesterday, because the mind map contain also the YouTube video links. That's nice. And I will put into the chat here the link to the actual mind map. Like this, you can save into your bookmarks the mind map. I will give you that.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you very much, Patrick. So yeah, I'm just pulling up my page. I think I do have some notes from yesterday where I wrote and can maybe respond more eloquently or concisely. So this will just take me just a moment to bring up. I think I actually have it right now. Does anybody else want to share any thoughts first, or should I go into this response?
Voila, the mind map. EFBS, Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. In short, is EFBS, not FBI. EFBS, okay? And is not updated, this one. That's the current mind map. And the capture.png that you have into the chat, that's exactly the text that is appearing into the mind map when we are clicking a new branch named Vlalendas. You will see that. For the people that are not have the chance to attend yesterday, at least you will have the video and you have all the notes into the mind map. That is a collective memory to reduce the Rashomon effect. And if you don't know what is the Rashomon effect, we will publish also something about Rashomon effect. That's from the 1950 by a Japanese Jakasu. No, I don't remember the name of the guy, but it's very well known.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good. Thank you, Patrick and Jakasu. So I'll start by trying to just answer Tadas's question directly. So Tadas's question they asked in the chat, and I think what he just asked again is, do you guys think that council should be able to override the system of voting to change the priority of topics determined by consortium? So first, I'd be interested to hear everybody's thoughts around the community about this as well. So my answer to that is, I'm not totally sure. So I'm exploring it, and I wrote a lot about this, and at some point in this week, I'll share my thoughts in an article. I showed Tadas a little bit during my presentation with my contributions today, but I've been writing a lot about this, and I can see it from different angles. So from one hand, like, you don't want it to be where people who have earned a lot of respect can necessarily just dictate exactly what will be discussed for the topics, because they could potentially have complete power to decide the topics if you just had people voting for 12 time slots and so forth. And so I think there should be a balance perhaps, or there should be some sort of better balance. So I'm very appreciative of Tadas for asking this question. At the same time, I'm not sure if we want to rely too much on the Eden+Fractal delegation process for several reasons that I wrote. I'm writing a new kind of article that's in early draft stage called edencreators.com/hybrid, which is an idea for kind of a hybrid voting system that takes the idea that Jorge shared and also Eric kind of mentioned with more variability last week, where basically potentially delegates could have an amount of votes. Like say if each delegate had 100 votes and they could use that in different proposals and different topics. This is kind of an early idea and it does add some complexity. So in many ways, it's perhaps best to just stick with what we currently have, but just sharing some of the thoughts that I've been thinking about with it. Perhaps we can have some sort of hybrid system where it's both like people can vote with their respect points and also the Eden+Fractal delegates can vote with kind of like delegate points. And what if there was like a 50-50 weighting between those two things? I'm just kind of throwing it out there right now because my answer to your question about whether delegates can override the system by voting to change the priority of topics determined by consortium. I think it couldn't work out either way well right now. So like if you guys think that's a good idea, then I think I'm happy to just say yes, because I think like there's kind of two different ways that we're doing it. One, we're just trying to figure out our system for the current time and like for this week and next week. And I think that since we all know each other well and we're all very aligned, we can iterate and make it work either way. And whether we do it with voting where the delegates can override it or it's just with consortium respect points, I think either way can work right now, but we certainly want to design it better for the long term for us and also for other communities as well. So I think for one thing, either way can work. And then in the longer term, I think that it's good to have delegates having power to choose the topics, but also there are some reasons why I wrote out why we might not want to rely too much on just the delegation. Like say if we provide just complete power to delegates to choose topics, then that kind of maybe loses some stability and maybe doesn't provide as much value to people who had been earning respect for the past 4 months or past 6 months or whatever. So there's a lot that we can discuss here and also share the articles. I'm interested to hear Tadas's thoughts and everybody else's thoughts, but I think it could work either way now and in the future. I'm not sure yet if it's best to have it where delegates can unilaterally override it or if there's some combination of voting power between respect points and delegation points. That's an idea. So I hope that made sense and I'll pass it on now. I see Patrick has his hands up and then Eric, and I'm interested to hear everybody's thoughts. Thank you.
Yeah. I will go very short and after Eric, very short also, thank you. I just want to say for yesterday, we have discussed about that, about changing the topics. And when we say changing the topic, we have to be very careful with that, because either that means you want to iterate the topic on what you are already discussing and improve this topic, we say about iterating, or you change totally the subject and the topic. And changing totally the subject, the topic, when you are already iterating some different weeks on a topic, that's not good at all, because you have spending already time, you have already spent some time to discuss about a topic into the main room, and suddenly what happened? You change the topic and you reset in a way the counters, and you go again with a new topic. It's better when we are on a topic, already diving into this topic, to finish something until the end before to come with something new. I want just to say that we have discussed that yesterday. That's recorded. That was discussion, good discussion, but that was addressed with Dan and with Vlad, by the way, and Tadas and Lenny. So what we are just addressing now, that's the following of what we discussed yesterday about this changing of topic. If the delegate have the right to override that, and also we spoke about the people that are absent, the people that are not joining those meetings, like today, for example, have they the right, if the council are not joining, for example, to let's say be into the quorum. That's also something. I put my hand down and I gave to Eric. Thank you.
So we're talking a lot about voting tactics. We could do this, we could do that, but I'm not sure it's tied well into strategy. So,
Absolutely.
what are we trying to accomplish with the voting? What do we want this strategy to, why would we want to do this? What are we trying to do? Minimize that, maximize that, ensure fairness. So when we just talk about throwing tokens at things and splitting things, I'm not saying anything that's bad, but it should be anchored in what we're trying to accomplish with the voting, what we want it to accomplish, and what we want to, what positives do we want to promote, and what negatives do we want to minimize. And some of that's out in Dan's book, More Equal Animals, but I guess I would just like to see this more tightly coupled with, so what are we trying to do with all this stuff? Because that way we know whether it's accomplishing. We can measure it and say, oh yes, do you feel now that we've implemented that it's more fair or whatever? So I guess that's what I would request, is a tighter coupling between strategy, operations, and tactics.
To answer to that, where we were discussing yesterday into the brainstorming session, we were arriving to the conclusion that we want to improve, to be the more inclusive possible, to let the people raise their voice. That's why we want to be the more inclusive, and that's why the Vlalendas proposal by Vlad, Lenny, and Tadas is here, and we are iterating on that. That's just what we want, to be the more inclusive possible, and not just 3 people or 4 people, to be the most fractal in a way into this Eden+Fractal, without to speak about fractally, but to be the most inclusive. And Tadas, maybe you want to continue? You have the raise hand.
Yeah, thanks, Patrick. Yeah, so wanted to respond to Dan. I think we don't have to be afraid of allowing delegates to choose the topics, at least in the exceptional cases, because if they abuse this power, people will lose trust and people will stop electing them. I think the positive thing about Eden+Fractal process is that delegates are in constant contact with people who elect them. Basically, they meet each week, and if they start abusing their power, people will stop electing them. And yeah, that's why I think I would rely on this process to make quick decision in exceptional cases. Although by default it might make sense to rely on voting where everyone is able to vote, every participant.
Yeah.
Because then that would be more inclusive. And Eric makes a good point as well. We should. I think we all kind of implicitly have in mind what we are trying to achieve with this proposal, but it might be useful to clearly define it. But I think it's what we are trying to achieve is a balance. We try to be inclusive, but we also want it to be secure against Cybele, where if we are too inclusive, then everyone could determine the topics, for example, and we don't want too much of that. So yeah, these are some of my thoughts. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Tadas. And I have so many thoughts to share. I'm trying to organize it and share it in a way that makes sense and is very helpful. So yeah, thanks to everybody for the thoughts so far. And this is a really helpful discussion. I'll first respond to what Tadas was saying. I agree. There's no need to be afraid about delegates having the power to choose the topics in some cases, or override the consortium votes and choose the first topic. I think that we could do that right now, where like we could implement the Vlalendas proposal this week or next week soon, and have it where delegates can override the votes on consortium, and I think that would work very well. There's also kind of why I was distinguishing, or trying to make the distinguishment between like the 2 different goals that we have. Like, one is to get something that works well enough for us right now, and then 2 is to design systems that will be optimal long term for both our community and many other communities. So For now, I think that having it where delegates can override consortium votes makes perfect sense, and that's a simple way to do it and works well. And then my suggestions about potentially having a hybrid voting power, something like that, are more considerations for how to optimize it in the long term. I wrote some notes. I'll share the link. This is a really early draft article that I mentioned before. Edencreators.com/hybrid is where I'm calling it right now. But basically, there's some notes there about like potential things that I think we should consider about potential downsides of relying on the Eden+Fractal process too much. And in the long term, I think that a hybrid model could make more sense potentially for a few different reasons. I'm trying to find my notes, sorry again for being disorganized. But there's some reasons listed out there that I think it could make sense and be more balanced overall if there are some more like decision-making power given to people who are in respect over time. I think that might help provide a better expression of the opinion of the community in the long term. So I'm interested to hear your thoughts about that. And perhaps
I have a question on that.
Yeah.
It is a complement to the Vlalendas that we are discussing, this hybrid, because you take in consideration the Eden respect point. In that, you are adding that into this hybrid. So when we are discussing on the brainstorming session, for example, the 13 one, we can iterate. That's an iteration of the Vlalendas, this hybrid, or it's total separate. That's
yeah. It's an iteration of Vlalendas, and more specifically, it could also be used for general proposal discussions too, and passing proposals potentially. So it could be an iteration of the Eden+Fractal process.
So it's an iteration.
Well.
It's not a change of topic. It's just an iteration. So I come back to my question of before, or my concern. Let's say I am not the only one to think about that, as always. I am thinking, okay, if you are iterating on a topic and you are spending time, that's also respect the time of the people that are taking the time to go on those topics. Do you agree to override and reset into consortium on something that we were already discussing of a lot of time? That's my question. Are you agreeing that, are you okay, let's say, to reset something that you are already discussing for a while? I think not. You are not okay with that. Only in each case, if a topic is, let's say, if we are not progressing on a topic, or if we are not doing any progress, we can say, okay, now we reset, we redo. But if we are in a good way with a topic, in good iteration, just move on, just progress, just continue to think about and not reset and override. I am not in favor of overriding for overriding. That's depend on which proposal we are, or on which status we are. That we discussed yesterday, by the way, is all recorded. You cannot say the contrario, that was recorded. So no way to say now that was not that. That was recorded. We were addressing that. We cannot say, it's not a binary decision to say, do you agree that we have to override? Because if you answer yes or no, that's too much. It's too much complex because that's depend of the proposal on which you are iterating at the moment. You cannot just say, like for the time, the start time of the breakout room, do you agree to change the start time of the breakout room? That is a binary question, is yes or no, and then you choose the time. But here it's about if the councilor, the delegates have the right to override the topic change, and that's it's more complicated. You cannot just answer yes or no, and I don't think we can implement that rapidly as you seems to want to do. So I am just putting here some thought and not vote like sheeps and vote like lion and don't be a sheep here. So to understand what you are voting when you are voting to change a topic, what does it mean really? I want to be very clear.
So, okay. So thanks for sharing your thoughts, Patrick. I'll also encourage everybody to raise our hands too, because I know Elias has had his hand up for a while, and I also want to finish up some thoughts too. So that'll probably help us in the future. But I think this also ties into what Eric was asking too about what these proposals will be used for and what kinds of topics will be proposing, and the tighter coupling between the overall strategy and what we're doing with these topics and positives we want to promote and so forth. So the topics that we can choose with Vlalendas or with any of these agendas kind of systems or games is it can be proposals for things we want to do as a community. Like, for example, we changed the time over the past few weeks, and we can make other proposals like that. And that can be very wide ranging depending on what topic we want to talk about or how we want to conduct. We could do all sorts of fun things or productive things and creative things. And it can also be announcements or promotions. So if somebody has a cool new project that they want to share with the community, then they could also propose that as a topic too. One of the things I'm working on with Eden Creators is this idea about dams and making cool video clips from all these different videos we're doing. So potentially people can get on, they could share their project, and then we could make video clips. I'm thinking of maybe offering where I'll produce a video with Eden Creators for one cool video that the Eden+Fractal Council chooses. Like the Eden+Fractal Council could choose and ask if I can make a video, and then we could pick whatever the best video to make, and then I could do that for the community. As an example, I also made some proposals about how we could potentially allocate Eden respect points to Eden Talk on BBS, or to help curate more equal animals. And lots of people have different proposals. So there's all sorts of different ways that we can use this process to choose topics for proposals or announcements or promotions, and then use that to create value for the community. So I hope that helps to answer Eric's question. Happy to go into more detail about that. And then Patrick, I think this also ties into what you were asking and helps to answer this, in that what we're doing is, what we're deciding here with Tadas asked me is if, say, the people with the respect points on consortium vote for X topic, a proposal to change the time again, but then the Eden+Fractal delegates decide, actually, there's a bigger proposal, there's a bigger priority, so let's override that and let's talk about this topic first. Then Tadas was asking if the Eden+Fractal delegates should be able to do that. And I think that makes sense. And I was also proposing different ways that we could make it better in the long term as well, perhaps. But I think that provides maybe a helpful overview of where it's at right now. And I know I've been talking for a while, and Elias and Eric have their hands up, so I'll pass it on now.
I will say that's depend of the proposal. There is no answer, yes, it's good, no, it's bad. That's depend every time of the proposal that you are doing. You cannot answer yes or no like this. But yeah, go ahead, Elias. Yeah. Or Eric, I don't know. You want to go first? Yeah.
So I'm kind of rehashing from last week's conversation, but so Eric, I think you left earlier last week, or on time actually. That was a long meeting. And so some things that came up last week was the binary decision idea. And Eric, before he left, he mentioned the part about the way I heard you, Eric, say it, and I want to hear you next. The way I heard you say it was, before it becomes a binary decision, it needs to process. And this is what I want to add to it right this week. I don't know what this Vlalendas thing is, but it seems like, you guys are talking about agenda. I know it's a work in progress, so it's not a thing right now. But you guys are talking about agenda, topics, proposals. So it seems like we need to get this workflow down even before we get the software down, right? So maybe that's something we could do on paper before actually implementing the software. And it seems like there should be a way of getting from idea to topic to proposal to vote. That's it.
Good point. Good point. We addressed that yesterday into the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. The terminology that is used sometimes, Lenny was also stating that into the video yesterday. I am not changed. All is there because that's good food. We stated sometimes the words are not used as they should. When you say change a topic, does it mean change the topic 360 degrees for a new one? Or does it mean iterate? And we were arriving to the conclusion with Dan yesterday in live that was iterating. now come the other point also. Do you want to change the topic about what? About a proposal? It's always about a proposal that we are discussing in today's main room. It's always about a proposal. So you have to distinguish the immediate proposal and the complex one. The immediate, it's binary. That doesn't need too much brain power. And the complex one, you cannot answer yes, no. You have to dive in and reach consensus with the other people. It's not just you sustain a proposal of Dancing Joy or you sustain his article. You have to brain. Otherwise, Dan, I would say that could be perceived again for the external people that are not as us OGs, that this Eden+Fractal indeed is very focused on one guy. And I know that it is not what you want. It is not that. I know that it is not your intent. But for the external people watching this, they could think, okay, Eden+Fractal is just about one guy doing proposals. And yes, currently there is the Dan proposals, the Vlad proposal, the Lenny proposal, and the Tadas proposal. That's why it's named Vlalendas, and it's an iterative proposal about the Cagendas, and now is coming the hybrid one. So I want to say we have to finish on something before to move to other things, but we are iterating. So we are not really changing the topic. That's nice. And I am totally agreeing with Tadas, what is Tadas writing into the chat now. We have to use the Eden+Fractal process that we have and make it better and progress and not change at all. We have to iterate. And I respect the work of Dan. He's writing a lot. He's doing a lot. I respect Eric. I respect you, Elias, for your remarks and all. But we have to be very focused and iterate and be very clear with the words. Otherwise, we will not understand at all between us. That's very important.
All right, thanks, Patrick. I have a bunch of thoughts, but Eric had his hands up first. So Eric, do you want to share some thoughts?
Yeah, my background, by the way, is implementing systems and processes within really complex environments. So one key thing to do is make sure you're asking the right question at the proposal. So I would say the first thing is, why are we doing this? Simple, not pages. Just here's why we're doing this. Second thing is, what outcomes do we want this thing to do? And the reason that's important, because after you do that, then you can test and say, is this getting us closer or further away? Then you can do tweaks. And then the big thing is the proposal itself. You need to make sure it's not binary, that you're asking, well, what is the best way to achieve these outcomes? And a little open proposal period, once that's defined, may be helpful. This shouldn't take long. I mean, we made decisions using this with tens of millions of dollars in scarily sometimes minutes. If you've
Eric, you have to watch the video of yesterday, please, when that will be published today. That is very well done, very well crafted, and we addressed exactly all the questions that you are popping up now about what is Vlalendas, what we are solving with that, why we do this, why we do that. So all is explained there. So pay attention to the video. That's a 30-minute video. We discussed it for 1 hour, and I was very committed to be 1 hour, not 3 hours. And all this time stamped, you can go there. Not only you, everyone that has question about what is Vlalendas in simple terms, because I was making sure that this is very abstract and understandable by my model.
What I'm talking about.
Yeah. You're frozen.
I think Eric froze.
And nice frozen.
Not just this. I'm in general. Yeah, I'm saying nice proposal. What I'm saying in general is it should include basic. Why are we doing this? What are the outcomes we want?
Yeah.
And then discussion happens just like you did yesterday, and then you craft a proposal about that and go. That's all I'm saying, is that might be something we think about.
And I love it.
Include those 3 steps at the beginning of any proposal.
I am totally agreeing with that. I am not saying the contrario. I'm totally agreeing. So I am with you. I am aligned.
Yep. So Was something else you're going to say there, Patrick? I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I want to share some
No. I
as well.
was just stating that I am aligned with Eric say at 99% in general. I am always aligned.
And where is this video, by the way?
It's not published yet. I don't think it's published yet, the video from the brainstorming session.
That will be published in a couple of hours, just after this Eden+Fractal of today. I was doing yesterday the co-hosting with Dan, then I have to edit the video, and I am publishing very fast when I am.
And where will it be posted?
On Nova Crypto YouTube channel. And that will be also on Twitter. By the way, Nova Crypto YouTube channel is about 500 subscribers soon, and the Twitter account of Nova Crypto is about 2,000 people that have subscribed to my Twitter account. So I am growing, and it's not about the number, it's about the quality of the videos. When I say quality, I mean the topic that we are addressing into the video, and it's all timestamped. That take time, and I have accustomed because I do video since 2020. So I am now in a good industrialization process. So anyway, that will be published. You will see that. You will love or not, but that's very well crafted.
Yep. So sounds great. I just shared the link to the Nova Crypto channel. I'll ask Patrick if just try to keep it just a little bit more focused. I mean, I really love what you're doing and really thankful for sharing this, but some of the details maybe don't need to be shared about the amount of followers and so forth, just to optimize our time as much as possible.
That just was to say that all what I am doing is not just yeah baby and Pat Nova Joy and to be a joker here. I am very committed when I do the work. I am 20 years software engineer. I am helping other companies to be very well organized. I am doing mind mapping with other companies since 2004. So I am not just here to appearing and waste my time and make jokes. I am working like a lion. I am committed. Yesterday, I was taking my time to be into Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. Today, I am doing consulting, and I am here, and I am taking the things very seriously. So
sounds good.
I let you go. Just to say. Okay. I am not for the numbers. I don't care about the numbers. That's
okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I was mostly just trying to focus it on the specifics of the proposal. But yeah, I appreciate everything that you're doing, of course. But yeah, focusing on the Vlalendas proposal and all the questions that we've been talking about how this can work. A couple of thoughts. One, at some point, Elias asked or said that he didn't really know what Vlalendas was, and I think that Patrick wrote that it's a complex proposal. I don't really think it's complex. I mean, there's lots that we can consider, but I summarized it in 4 bullet points that I'll share in the Zoom chat right now. I tried summarizing this just ad hoc off the cuff before, so maybe I didn't do a great job, but it's summarized in like 10 sentences, 8 sentences. So it is quite simple. There's also more details on the Vlalendas page, but really it's basically summarized in those 4 points for the most part. And I think in general, something to keep in mind too is that this is an iterative process, so we can evolve. And there's a note that I wrote on the page too about how agendas or guides, and especially since we're just starting up these systems, we can have some flexibility and wiggle room where we don't have to, completely constrain ourselves to one proposal, but we can try to respect the process and go with the process, but we can also play it by ear and be rather flexible. To respond to what Eric was saying about generally how well, I don't know exactly how you phrase it, but how Vlalendas can help and what we'll do with it. So on that Vlalendas page, I also wrote a little section about how Vlalendas can help, where I summarized some different ways that it can help communities, including the Eden+Fractal community. So choosing discussion topics, processing proposals, coordinating group activities, and so forth. I'll also share this in the chat as well. For anybody who's interested in looking at that. And then also I made some previous proposals. Thanks, Elias. Best to you too. Really appreciate you being here and sharing your thoughts. Hope you have a great day. And then also share a link to the Eden+Fractal consortium page where I and some other people have made some proposals that we could review with this process as well. There's several proposals about how we could do cool things together as a community. So these are some of the things that we can process and review when we have this process. So I hope that helps to clarify what you were asking about, Eric. Of course, I'm happy to discuss some more. And then the last thing I want to say is Tadas said in the chat, my suggestion is to use Eden+Fractal for overriding Vlalendas is a solution for the near term. It makes sense because we know that Eden+Fractal somewhat works. We don't know how Vlalendas will work yet, and it will make sense to anchor what already works as a fallback if new proposals do not work. So I agree, and I would propose, and I do propose, right now we don't have a formal proposal on consortium or anything like that, but I would say we have most of our delegates here, I think, and I think Tadas' suggestion works, and I think that will work well, and I think we should try that next week. We can see how it goes and play it by ear, of course, but I think that's a good plan to basically go with the Vlalendas proposal, but we'll have it where the Eden+Fractal delegates can override, and I don't see any reason why we need to wait or further deliberate with this. I'd be curious if anybody has any thoughts about that, but I'd propose that we take a vote before this meeting ends and see if we want to do that next week. I think that would work out well. And with that, I'll pass it on to Lenny.
Okay, let's see if I catch it now in the right way. I haven't been digging into Vlalendas or the others enough yet, but yesterday's discussion, brainstorming, hinged a lot of how we express words and similarly, and what do they mean, like quorum, etc., and similar. But what I feel is very important, we need to make it as simple as possible, so no one can argue how do we determine things. And the key thing is, like last week, we didn't have any decision-making process in this talk because we were not enough delegates. Today, we are missing only one delegate for the starters, so we have decision powers. And that's the thing, you got to have a set quorum, and I like the 2/3 plus 1, just like we do consensus. That's the quorum I think we should set in stone. But then you have exceptions, like we discussed yesterday. Exceptions like, okay, we don't have a quorum. Are we going to waste time or go home and have dinner instead? No, the idea is that you could have exceptions, that if it's not a quorum, you can still proceed and have a meeting going through proposals and similarly, so that people can benefit. They have put time aside to attend a meeting. And of course, if you're a delegate, you're supposed to be there. There is no excuses except maybe baby birth, accident in the car or something. I mean, hey, you are committing. So that should be exceptional. But we should have a way to move forward in a meeting anyway. So that could be an exception we make and decide on as well. But you can continue with the meeting, but no decision making. That's the two important aspects, I think, from yesterday. Thanks.
Thank you, Lenny. You are just confirming what we were stating when you were leaving yesterday before the end, and we were arriving. We see the video. You will see the video. We have defined exactly what does it mean quorum. What does it mean quorum? What does it mean change the topic? Because that's not clear at all. And I want to answer to Dan. You say your proposal is very easy. It's not complex. But don't take wrong. When I say complex, I make two class of proposal. There are the immediate one, when you can just say yes, no, that doesn't take too much brain power. And they are the complex one. And don't say complicate, complex. Your proposal, we have to read different things to arrive to the simplicity. We have to read on your website. We have to read on another article. Now you are putting into the chat here a little paragraph to show that it is not complex. Yes, it is complex. It is not a proposal so easy digest at the first entry. Lenny has to read, others have to read. So I agree totally. I want to say, I agree totally with the sentence or the people stating that we have to say the things in one sentence, very short sentence, basic sentence that is understandable by everyone. So it's not understandable at the first place what is Vlalendas. You are only understanding that when you are watching the video of yesterday. For example, not everyone will watch the video of yesterday. Thank you if you are watching, by the way. But it's a complex proposal. And the Eden+Fractal process that we have now with Tadas is working. We have a good pain to vote for this Eden+Fractal, and finally we have vote, and we are using every week. That's go very well. Other point, into the main room, yes, we don't have to be frozen because there are not always the councillors that are joining, the delegates that are missing. because in the normal life in a committee, if some people are missing, absent, what you do? You go to the at home and you enjoy with your wife and you miss the committee? No, you stay to the committee, you continue the meeting without those people, because you have to continue, the lives continue. Everyone can have an impeachment. So what? We have to continue. We will not be stopping because some people are not joining. So we have to move. So always in movement. And otherwise, we don't respect the people that are joining here and that are taking their time. Because if we say we have to wait because the absent are not here, that will be, for me, not so dynamic, this thing. So we were discussing of that yesterday, and I think the Eden+Fractal, how it is now, process is a good one. We just have to continue on this one and improve him and integrate some foods of your proposal, Vlalendas. That is a proposal of Vlad, Tadas, and Lenny, and all that into a proposal. So, but we don't have to be stopped, or let's say a little bit stopped into our progress. So we have to continue here. So that's very positive indeed, I would say, and I want just to raise the thought of Lenny and to confirm, and also that I love all what we are doing currently. It's nice. We are progressing. But we have to be cautious with, that's an edge case that we have addressed yesterday. That was like insurance in case that something is happening and all this stuff. That's not the normal general things. Normally we progress. Yeah.
I agree. Excellent points. Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, Lenny. Really appreciate both of you guys and all the thoughts you're sharing. So Tadas shared something. I think we were not completely clear into some details. Do you want to speak and share this, Tadas, perhaps, or would you like me to read it out?
Yeah, I can read it out. Basically, yeah, I think we are not completely clear yet on some details regarding this proposal. We talked about these details yesterday. Yeah. Specifically, I listed these three main questions that I have. So, do votes on topics reset after each week? What's the quorum required for councils to override topics set by consortium? Specifically, should the quorum count absent council members in this case or not? And what's the quorum required to decide if we should move on to the next topic? And I suggest that we take this next weekend. Yeah. For the next meeting, we arrive with we have a clear document where we specify this.
Tadas, please send your remark to the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session mind map, please. I will include into the notes. Very important when you do some paragraph like this, please, and Dogman also, let's enjoy. When you do some paragraph here in live into this chat, please have the reflex to send that to the mind map. I will update, because that's the place. That's not just a show, this brainstorming session to say, hey guys, we are doing YouTube video and we will publish on YouTube. That's a real brainstorming, That's like in professional, but with fun, by the way, and respect to everyone. Just want to say, that's not the place to say, yes, we agree, we love you. That's also the place to say when we are not agreeing at all. And I think that does do a good point. Personally, I will not move on with Vlalendas currently. We have to continue to brainstorm.
Yep. I agree too. And we also, Pascal and I think another delegate have left, so we wouldn't have the delegates to pass proposal anyway. But yeah, I agree. We should have it written out, and we should clarify these answers. So thank you very much to Das for writing this. I could just briefly respond. Specifically, do votes on topics reset each week? This was a topic we discussed in the brainstorming session yesterday. And one of the things I asked Vlad was whether people could change their votes or resubmit votes on consortium, because I think that would be a helpful feature. I think Vlad was in agreement. I don't know if it would be very difficult to build, but that would make it easier to make it so that votes don't reset either week. I think either way we can start it and just pick one and then go with it. But in the long term, I think it'd be better if people can change their votes. But I suppose we can start out where topics do not reset each week because that's simpler. But I'd be curious if Vlad has any thoughts about that. Secondly, what's the quorum required for councils to override topics set by consortium? Should the quorum count absent members or not? I think that
Dogman,
yeah,
just a little precision on the quorum for everyone here what it is. It's a number. Okay, we know all what is a quorum, it's a number. But how we calculate this number? That's the Eden+Fractal proposal of Tadas that is implemented now, define the quorum number, minus subtracted by the number, the count of absents, and that's give the quorum. The quorum is equal to the number that is specified into the Eden+Fractal process that we are using today, minus the absent. That's defined the quorum. And now the question, what should be this threshold, this number minimum? We were addressing that yesterday, just parenthesis. Okay.
Yes, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, so I'm not exactly sure what's the quorum required to decide if we should move on to the next topic. I think that was already decided upon in just using the Eden+Fractal quorum, so 3 out of 4 councils. But I'd be curious if you wanted to elaborate on that, Tadas, and then also, what do you think is best? I'd be curious to also hear from Vlad too, if you're available, because I know we had the discussion about whether votes reset on topics and if that feature for people to change their votes on consortium is available. So yeah, Tadas, do you have any more thoughts? Or Vlad, I see you turn your camera on. Do you have any thoughts about the answers to these questions?
I was writing, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I don't have nothing important to add. To summarize, I thought I had answers to these questions, but yesterday after speaking with you, I had some doubts, so I don't fully have the answers yet.
It's okay to not give the answer directly. It's better to say nothing and to think a little bit more and come with something very clear, crystal clear when it is the time. Because if it is not clear for us, how you want that this is clear for everyone? So we have to be very clear. And also the main room time will be better because all will be more clear. We will know, don't take wrong, waste our time into the main room when the things will be very clear. Everyone will be until the end with us and not leaving because the things will be very clear. So that's why, Eric, I want just to say also, that's why we are doing all that. We want to maximize the time into the main room when we are with the people very smart like you, and don't waste your time. That's a respect also. We want that people joining here are not wasting their time, that they are not leaving. So for that, we have to go straight to the point. So we are not yet there, and we are brainstorming. That's why we have the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. And by the way, you are welcome on the 13th December. That's the last one of the year. That's a proof of concept. We want people like you there. We don't just want people like us, Vlad, Tadas, Dan, Sinjoy, myself, Jesse Jaffe sometimes joining. Bishop, you are welcome. We need people that are challenging us. Otherwise, we are completing us into always seeing, oh, we are doing fantastic things. Yeah, we are doing fantastic things, but we have to improve the things, and we need some brain power into our brainstorming session. So more brain power, more people joining.
Yes, I also encourage everybody to join. And also, I think Vlad was about to say something before. Was something you wanted to share, Vlad?
Yeah, first I started thinking about the third point that you wrote in the summary. So the first sentence is the council will decide when to move on to the next topic with the second most votes. But this, I mentioned it yesterday as well. I think that's not going to be the default option. So the default option will be we accept or reject the proposal, and then automatically we move to the next one. But if there is a problem, then the council can decide that we can skip it for now and push it to the next week. So I would add to this third point that I will write it in the chat.
You can submit to the mind map, by the way.
Thanks, Vlad. I'll just respond to that briefly. One of the reasons why I phrase it like that is because I'm aiming to, I think it's best if we define this not specifically for proposals, but more agnostic to any kind of topic. So I think it would be implicit or understood that the council members can determine when to move on to the next topic, and that can be with a yes or a no, or it can just be with a, okay, let's just move on if this wasn't a proposal. So that way, if somebody just shared a presentation about their new project or an announcement or something like that, then the council could decide when to move on to the next topic. But of course, if it's a proposal, then they could vote yes or no, and that would be by default moving on to the next topic as well.
Yeah, with topic, I think it will be enough just to ask, does anybody has something to add? And if no, then by default we can move. So no need to have a vote.
Sometimes we are asking too much. We have to just do the things and continue. Sometimes we are just too much thinking and we are stopping. You have just to do the things, to do the things and to be in collaboration and continue. Sometimes we want to put some process. That's why I think this proposal is complex. That's why I think it's not immediate. See all the questions now, today, that we have still, because we have to brainstorm more. So that, Vlad, you make just a good point now. I don't want to say that I don't agree with your proposal. That's not that. I think the proposal Vlalendas is great, the hybrid proposal also, but we have to finish, or let's say we have to arrive to a good point with what we have already begun. Otherwise, you are just giving another stone into the water and then another stone, and we have never finished the other stones before. That's a little bit my impress here, to be honest with you.
Okay, well, yeah, thanks for sharing your perspective.
I am not the only one. I am not the only one, as always. I am sharing my thoughts that are also other thoughts, but it's not to fall in respect at all. It's just to say the truth and not be just agreeing with all here.
We want to make it as simple as possible and get it down to being explained in a sentence or a few sentences so that all communities can use this and have it work well. But and I tried to do that with summarizing in 4 points, but obviously there are a lot of details that we're considering, and there's a lot that we want to construct and consider all the different ways that this could work for the community and for other communities in advance. So yeah, it is complex thinking about it, but we are making a lot of progress, and I think that
it's not a critique. It's not a critique. When I say complex, it's not a critique to say that your proposal is too much complicated. I just say complex. That need different level of abstraction to understand. The immediate proposal doesn't need a lot of level of abstraction. It's just binary. Yes, no. But here, that needs more brain power. That's why we have the brainstorming session, by the way. And we cannot answer to you, yes, Doug, we want to go with this. Personally, I will never say now, yes, we go with Vlalendas. I need more. We need more to discuss.
Yeah, and we're discussing it right now. So
because if I say
it's very good that we're making progress.
Because if I say you yes now, I will be a liar.
I don't think that we want to say yes right now. I think we're all in agreement with what Tadas said, or at least I'm in agreement with what Tadas said, that we should formulate and answer these questions better next week.
And Lenny.
I'd be curious.
Everyone.
Yeah, I'd be curious to hear one in general. If anybody else has any thoughts about this. I know Charles and Eric and Matthias and Jorge have been here for a while. Haven't heard your thoughts in a while, so I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. And also, Vlad, I don't know if you were going to say more too, but I'd be very interested to hear if you have more thoughts about it as well.
Quick comment on the Tadas' second point. So, what's the quorum required for councils to override topics? Another question here I have. So, what's the alternative then? We override what's on consortium, but what are the topics then? And we need to think that through as well. So if it's an emergency proposal from the council members, are they somehow submitted, or I guess just a council member can at the beginning of the main room just say, I have an emergency proposal, and then there's this vote. I guess that would work.
Yeah, the voting could be done on just a Google Sheet like we've been doing now, or even informally if it's more unanimous. Although, of course, we can evolve that more. Interested to hear if Tadas has more thoughts about that. Also, by the way, another thing that I'm wondering too, in relation to this is just how it will work, like practically. Like there's a lot of times that we go into the community room after the breakout room and people have some kind of impromptu announcements. I do it sometimes too, just trying to like host and move it along well and promote people's work if there's new things happening. So like when I wrote this, I figured it'd be good to write a bit about how it's a guide so we can still be somewhat flexible. And I suppose if somebody wants to just share something quickly for like, 20 seconds or 30 seconds and they're a respective community member, then they can just speak out without having to make a proposal. But if somebody wants to share like a bigger topic, then they could make a request either in the Zoom chat or whatever. And then the council could deliberate if they want to focus on that as the first topic for 5 minutes. But I'd be curious to hear if anybody has any thoughts about how we'll practically do it. I think retaining a little bit of flexibility for short announcements, impromptu is good. And then if people want to make longer, you think nothing at all, Vlad? Or I see Patrick raise his hand too. But I think just a little bit, like if somebody has an issue with like they can't get their keys to work or something like that, like I don't think we should make it so strict that people can't ask simple questions or somebody can't share like a very quick thing for like 20 seconds in general when we're starting. So I think having some flexibility there is helpful, but we should obviously aim to respect the process as much as possible. And if people want to do something that's longer than like a 20-second announcement, then there should be a system where they're basically asking the delegates if they can do that to kind of override the topic or something like that. I'll pass it on now to Patrick and then Vlad.
Yeah, I will be very short. We were also stating that yesterday during the recording. Before that Eden+Fractal meeting, I speak meeting, begin 1 day before or 2 days before, or better than that, on the Friday of a week or on the Saturday of a week, that we put already the agenda. We speak about agendas, by the way. That we put the agenda into the Discord channel to say to the people what will be the topic that we will discuss here into this Eden+Fractal, because the people that are joining, they are not knowing what we will discuss. If we are clear on what we will discuss, the people will prepare in advance, and when they are joining the main room, they know what we will speak. So the main room should be speaking about a proposal and not different things. A proposal and be focused on that. If that needs more than 5 minutes to discuss, because it's a complex one, take the entire 1 hour to speak about this proposal. Then join on the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session that are every 2 weeks, by the way. That's not a coincidence. That's to let the time the people to have their mindset updated. So before the meeting, a little agenda, topics, bullet, very simple for the people that knows, okay, why we will do, what we will do here, why we will take our time to come. And then into the main room, be focused on a proposal until the end and not move on other proposal when you have not finished with one proposal, because the people will see that not clear and they will leave. And if they see that we are very focused on a proposal, speaking more than 5 minutes when it is a complex one, that's need more than 5 minutes for sure. Let's be focused on that, just on that, and no time pressure, because we will be finished the things will be finished. We will continue iterate, and that will be nice, fun, and very professional. Otherwise, into the main room, if you are speaking, oh, I have lost my key, what I have to do, and then you share that for 5 minutes or 2 minutes, you have your support. If someone has a problem with his key, we can just say, if you have a technical issue, reach your support. They have agent 24/7 for that. Okay, but for the proposal here, the main room is to be focused. Otherwise, Vlad, what you think?
Just a quick answer to Dan in regards, should we be strict or should we be flexible? I think, let's say we have 100 people and then even 10 people give a little remark, it's already how much time would be wasted. So I think we need to be fairly strict.
Yeah, good point. I agree we need to be fairly strict, and I agree with Patrick's points too. But I do think that
a strict
that
with fun.
fairly
fair, strict with respect, with to be firm. Sorry, to be very focused, committed, and because you are representing Eden+Fractal here, you are into the genesis of this Eden+Fractal, and Felix was also, yeah. But we are into this genesis. We have to be an example also that we are very committed into the main room when people want to speak about, sorry to say, about other things that are nothing to do with what we are speaking, the subject, the topic of the main room. Let they go to EOS support to ask their question there when they are stuck with their keys or other things. We are not the savior here for the people that have lost their key or those things. We have to speak about the speak about the proposals here that we are doing into Eden+Fractal. And one after one. Otherwise, if you are doing at the same time 5 minutes for this proposal, then during this 5 minutes you have to think about the next proposal. You are not multitask. For the moment, I have no Patnava Joy. Yeah, I have Patnava Joy, but that's an exception. But I am not multitask. Sorry, I am not multitask. Bishop is also not multitask. You cannot be multitask. Eric also. So everyone, we have to be focused on one proposal after one step, one stone, and then another stone.
Yes, that's the plan.
Otherwise, we are always at the same. Sorry to say, we are always at the same. I don't say that we are not progressing. I say we are always discussing of the same things since now a long time, and that's the time to change.
Move on. Okay, cool. Thanks, Jorge.
Without to be a dictator, I just want to be clear. I am not a dictator here. I just want to help you to go to the top and not to the bottom. I am sustaining you as other here that love you a lot, that respect you a lot, and that's why I am vocal and I am stating the thing, because I am here since a while and I want to see the things going in a good position, and I think we have all on the table to do that happening.
Yes. So thank you, Patrick. So Vlalendas does focus on one topic at a time. So, and once we get the system set up, then we'll be able to focus on many more topics. We've been doing a lot of basic foundational design work here. So it's been taking a while, and we've been focusing on all the details. But once we get it set up, it provides a system for us to go on one topic at a time and take as much time as we need for each topic. So we'll be making lots of progress with that. I agree with what Vlad is saying, that we should be fairly strict. I think fairly strict is a great word for it too, because it leaves a little bit of room for flexibility if we need it, and it's also using our fair judgment too. So in general, I just want to make sure if somebody does have like a problem with their app or something, then we can feel comfortable to just say, okay, you can reach out to EOS support, or here, we'll figure out in the Zoom chat. Like, it's not the kind of thing where we'll spend 5 or 10 minutes on fixing somebody's tech issue, but just something where we can just have a conversation very briefly in 10, 20 seconds or whatever, and just respond to it. And at the point, we're not at a point where we have 100 people right now. So over time, we can get more strict with it. But in the beginning, we want to just retain a little bit of flexibility, but aim to go according to the schedule as much as possible. And I think that's a great way to do it. And then, yeah, so I'm excited about the progress we're making with this proposal, and we've been going for over 2 hours now, so I suppose we could wrap it up pretty soon. Although I'd also be very interested to hear any thoughts, especially from Charles and Matthias, or Lenny, or Jorge said he was going to go, or if Vlad has any thoughts, or Eric has any thoughts about this proposal and agenda system, or if you guys have any other thoughts in general, or if you guys want to wrap it up earlier than we can. But yeah, does anybody have any other thoughts you'd like to share or ideas?
I am obviously more focused on how this works, not for this particular thing, but in general, because I am focused on how do we scale. I'm thinking of implementing this and growing it. So that's where my focus is. So I'd be happy to work with Patrick and brainstorming a mind map that lays
That's
out.
tools, and that's not replacing your thought, Eric. That's just tool to help the people. The power is in you, is into the people. I am just providing tools. Then
I'm just saying we should create the mind map that maps out that whole strategy down to,
yeah,
get
totally.
that all down so we connect what
All
we're
the
doing,
points.
what we're doing, and how it works down to this is what we're doing.
Yeah, this mind map is more memory collective to not lose our thought. But there is missing another mind map, a meta mind map, let's say, that is laying out the strategy. But the strategy, we don't know the strategy for the moment. We are searching for this strategy. So I cannot map out the strategy for the moment. But I understand exactly what you're.
I'm saying by starting, we realize where the holes are.
So Dan, you are hearing what is addressing Eric here since now 2 weeks in a row, that we should maybe sit down a little bit and think about what we want here. Not just doing proposal for doing proposal for doing proposal. Here, that's proposal are to use our time better. But before that, we have to think also what
I'm not saying stop. I'm not saying put anything we're doing on hold. I'm saying start a parallel track of
in parallel, yeah.
Yeah.
That's why we have brainstorming session. I have made committed to do three episodes. The last one is on the 13th December. That's a proof of concept. Seems to be that you love the brainstorming session, Pat Nova Joy. Yeah, Pat Nova Joy is loving the brainstorming session. And I will continue to do so next year, Dan, by the way, to co-host that with you. And if the people want to join, they will join. Because the brainstorming session, that's the place to come with ideas, brainstorm, disturb the things, and do fantastic things. And we will understand exactly what we are doing here. We will arrive to the answer, what are we doing here? That's the existential question for everyone sometimes. We are not knowing what we are doing. But by the way, we are doing fantastic things here. So join us, Eric. Join us every week, please. That's a pleasure. And like we were joining the Eden+Fractal sometimes and the metaverse, I think we have to continue. Dan, are you happy?
Yes, I'm very happy. And I'm looking forward to doing more of the brainstorming sessions as well with you, Patrick. And yeah, I'm also looking forward to what Eric was speaking about, using these processes to help many more communities. And also, once we finally get these processes in place, doing all the cool things that we can with them too. So I've also been thinking and working a lot on that as well. So I'm happy to collaborate with you on that, Eric. And I'm happy to do all the cool things that we'll do in the Eden+Fractal community and other communities with these processes. And also Eric is doing awesome work with the Center of Governance and Alien Worlds too. So I encourage everybody to explore that as well. And that could be a great way that we can use these processes to help spread the word and help do amazing things. I saw Lenny had his hands up too. Something you want to add, Lenny? You want to share?
Nothing really serious, but basically the thing is, we have a saying in Sweden that shortcuts are very often the delaying roads. And I know 2 months ago, that's when we started these discussions, I tried to tell people that we should have it in writing, but everyone wanted to do quick decisions. And that took a month or at least 3-4 weeks before we started to actually put it in writing. Tadas and Vlad and Dan are similar. It's a learning curve for everyone. I mean, I've been in this business of governance and meetings for 40 years. I don't know everything, but it's not an easy thing to get a grasp on what works, and particularly, as Eric said, in future, when we are scaling, if we are successful. If we're not scaling, hey, who cares? That means we can go home and do something else. It didn't work out. But we got to build for the future, and then in the beginning, a bit flexibility, but not too much, because you got to have firm, simple rules that everyone can understand how it works. If we have nuances and variations, too much flexibility, no one knows the rules. Rules are very important. That's all. Thanks.
Especially if you put them into a DAO.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, good point, Eric. The DAO and all. Sorry, I am okay with that. But first, make some good rules and be flexible, not an asshole. Be very flexible, but not an asshole. And it's more important to be nice than to be very important here. So we have to be very nice, do the things correctly with the people. If something is addressing a problem, we answer him rapidly, and we say him, go to your support. You have a problem with your keys, go to his support. You will be welcomed. And then we continue the discussion. We are focused on our things, and that's the place to come, Eden+Fractal. That's the place to collaborate, cooperation between us, and collaboration. So that's beautiful. That's what we want here. If the world would be like this, okay, I am happy to be into Eden+Fractal. But Joy, yeah, he's very happy also. So, Bishop, are you happy?
Yeah, sure. No, very happy to be here again. On the question of the voting changes, etc., I have to dive into that again. I've been out of the loop for some time. Now, my point of view goes more in regards to communications than where my skills end. That's where I want to put my skills to use here. What I've noticed so far points to improve, and on the question of how to scale, which is a very important question. First, where do we go? The Eden and Elias did the position paper for Eden. Something very similar could be achieved here. We could basically base most of what we do here based on that paper alone. And we can do that. It would help first, do something like that, just to have a basis from which to take from if we want to elaborate the website for Eden+Fractal and make an endpoint for users to jump into this community. So the position paper would be a first good place to start. Very easily, now that Eden has already done a position paper, could help us a lot. Afterwards, what I see is the Discord. We could use another channel, an introduction channel that explains very easily what the process here is at the moment. A pinned message also, maybe in the channels. Again, summarizing what's the process right now, how can you join, everything as a new user perspective. And after that, well, the website, making sure it's even better and more clearer and summarizes all the things that we want to achieve here, which would be easier once we have the position paper done. And these are the points that I see to help with scaling right now. Once we get that done, we can then spam the channels. We can promote Eden+Fractal everywhere. We would have graphics to showcase the links every time. And well, a better website, better summary of everything that we do. And the Discord, again, more ready to welcome new users with a new introductions channel, with more pinned messages, summarizing everything. Well, that's what I see right now, just and to help with the scaling.
Yeah, good point. Good point, because Steven, that was joining here a couple of weeks ago with Extra, that was Steven, yeah. He was making this kind of remark that would be great to have a website stating clearly if you are joining this Zoom call, what are you risk? Put some some privacy policy when you are joining this Zoom call. What you are recorded, not that the people come later on and say, "Oh, we are recorded." Because it is published on YouTube, by the way, on the Eden Creator channel of Vlalendas Enjoy. Myself, the video of the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session are published on my YouTube, Nova Crypto, because for me, I am doing, you are like my customer, Eden+Fractal in a way, because that's the brainstorming activities and is entitled for this Eden+Fractal brainstorming session. That's not a coincidence. So, and we have already a lot of visibility. Thanks to the bees also. Every time we have an episode, let's say the Eden+Fractal brainstorming session, that's swarmed by 200 bees with nice comments. Now we have the comments on the bees. That's very well done. And we have already a good visibility. So imagine when we have the website more precise. The website, by the way, is very well done by Dance Enjoy. He has improved the website a lot. That was not like that at the beginning. He has curated the article like a lion, a fantastic client. He has made chapters very well done. I have to take this chapter and to do a mind map that will be perfect. He is helping me. So I think, as I said, we have all into the table, on the table. We have just to be very committed and focused, and that's not to be a bastard sometimes into the main room, to be very strict, but with fun, but strict. That's not a problem to be sometimes a little bit more structured. CEO support, they are very structured. That's why they are succeeding a lot. You have to be a little bit more structured, and we are doing that here. Dance Enjoy, I love your work, okay? I love all what you are doing. I just want to say here, that's recorded now. I love the work of Dance Enjoy. I love all what he's doing. He's doing a fantastic job. If he was not coming with this idea of Eden+Fractal, Eden creation, Eden creators, and all those things, we will not be here now to discuss. So a lot of respect to you. That's why you deserve a lot of respect. You need also people smart like Lenny, Vlad, Tadas, Sparrow, Eric, Bishop, to help you, and we help us everyone. That's the place to come, Eden+Fractal. That's the power that's the brain power. We collaborate between us. We are with beautiful people. That's fine. And at the same time, we are progressing here. So I will continue to come the most that I can. Also, when I am not okay. But Novajol was stating to me that I have to be always very on top. So I am very happy today. I was sometimes depressed, but no one will defeat me. No one will defeat you here. No one will detach you from your purpose. We are lions, not sheep. Okay? And then you are empisted now.
Empisted?
No, so empisted mean you are again on the top with your joy.
Okay.
Enjoy again.
Sounds good. I don't know if I've heard that word, but yeah, thank you, Patrick. I love your work as well, and lots of
this
respect
word
to you as well.
exists
Thank you.
is on Google. You can write empisted. That's a word that we say when
Okay.
we are putting again the joy. We are empisted.
Okay. That sounds good. I'll check it out, and happy to be empisted. So yeah, thank you, Patrick, and yeah, thank you also for everything you do with the mind maps as well. And
thank you.
Yeah. So
I don't do that for myself. I do that for the other one. And on Pomelo, we have beautiful grants. Go there and sustain the people. You have Zedios here. So sustain Pomelo on Zedios. You have Vlad with CTF. Sustain him on Pomelo. You have ear support. Sustain them on Pomelo. You have Sparrow with the briefings and Galaxy now. I am very happy with that. You have Vlad. You have Lenny with the recap on Pomelo. Don't miss him and donate to him to support him. We are all here. We have a Pomelo grant on Pomelo Fast, so we have to sustain us and pushing us to the top possibly.
Yes, good point. Help support your fellow community members. There's a few different things I want to say to respond to Lenny and Charles as well, and also a couple comments from Vlad and Matthias in the chat. Also, if you guys like, we can wrap up the video pretty soon, but first I'd like to share these. And if anybody else has any thoughts too, that's great. So first off, I want to say to Charles, I really appreciate your support and help, and also looking at it from a communication mindset about how to communicate better about Eden+Fractal. So thanks so much for all you do, Charles, and for sharing those ideas. The positioning paper, Gabriel and the Helix team did a great idea there. So if anybody hasn't checked that out yet, I recommend reading that. That can be very helpful and insightful. One of the key points that Gabriel shared was helping communities thrive. That was one of his first sentence, which I think is awesome, and also goes along with what Eric is talking about, how we can use these processes to help communities thrive and help people cooperate. I also agree, communicating better in Discord, summarizing messages in Telegram and so forth. That's a great idea, and I encourage everybody to join the Eden Discord and Eden+Fractal Telegram and participate in the groups and share your thoughts. And also, there is a pin message in the Telegram right now. I don't know if we can pin message in Discord, but we'll look into that. And the Edenfractal.com website could use I am gradually making improvements, and I did make it a lot better from the beginning, but it can still certainly come a long way. And I've also been writing a lot of articles on EdenCreators.com. If anybody has any thoughts about how to improve these or wants to take an initiative and helping to build a website or a video or a tweet or like a mind map like Patrick is doing, or do anything to help promote and help collaborate and help spread the word about Eden+Fractal, then that would be great. And I'd be happy to collaborate with that as well. Also, Waxa, I had a meeting with Waxa this week, and Waxa shared a kind of a proposal for, he's building the EdenElections.com website or EdenElection.com website. And he's going to be building a section for Eden+Fractal that he's kind of pulling together all different aspects of Eden and presenting it for people who are new to the community and also for people who are active in the community. So there's going to be a blog section where everybody can post blog posts related to Eden+Fractal there, as well as post videos and lots of different things. I think Wax is going to try to come soon to explain it more. So maybe next week we'll hear from Wax, or I can share more details about that. But yeah, in general, communicating these things better is very helpful, and if maybe has any ideas or wants to take any initiatives, then that would be very welcome. I'm excited to keep building these websites and also make great videos to help promote what we're doing and help promote each community member here, and also doing networking to earn events, as Jesse spoke about, and we help promote each other, and also spreading these fractal cooperation tools to, like, all these things that we're building with Eden+Fractal and Vlalendas and so forth. Once we get these working here, we can spread these systems to other communities, so other communities can really benefit from these as well. And then I had a couple of brief comments to Lenny and Vlad. Was something you wanted to jump in there first, Patrick, or anybody else? Or
I just want to complete what you say. That's the time to promote, not wait that we have all finished to promote. At the same time that we are iterating, that we are doing the things here, and we have not maybe yet answered to all the troubles. Let's move on and promote what we are doing. For that, we have the Eden+Fractal update number 3 with Tadas and Dan Joy with me on Nova Crypto, that will be published on Antelope Swiss Workshop number 17, December 9. There will be also Zedios, Matthias Schoenbeck. There is also Vlad with CTF. I have interviewed him. So when you see the video coming, not just watch the video, share, because the video will be in a tweet. So share, not only the bees, share also, do something, share something, and put a nice comment, by the way. That would be nice. We have to help us. We have not to wait that others are promoting us. We are to promoting ourselves, because if we are waiting sometimes on others to promote us, you will don't have. So you have to do the things for your own sometimes. But here we are good people, we will help us between us. And I will promote everyone that I can promote here with the workshops, with the mind maps, with the, don't forget the Eden Town Hall on the Sunday. Because on the Sunday, by the way, Nicolas of the Bees, exactly, Nicolas Dawan, shout out to him. He's joining a lot of time the Eden Town Hall on the Sunday. That's at 16 UTC, correct, Dan?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, there we have sometimes Christian Chris, CIC, shout out to him. He's not here today because he has a lot of work, but shout out to him. Sometimes he joins on the Sunday and he makes a good point, not appearing on the camera, but doing good point. And something new that we are doing into the Eden Town Hall now with Dogman since 2 weeks, 3 weeks now. We are recording, that's always recorded, but he's sharing the screen. Is showing what he's doing into Eden+Fractal, and you have other people like Joachim of IFA was coming on Eden Town Hall and was doing a nice presentation about IFA. Lenny was there, and myself, I was presenting a little bit what I do. So come on this show. So for example, Matthias, if you want to show more about Zedios, come also sometimes if you can for sure. On a Sunday on Eden Town Hall, and you share what you do. Eric, the same. You want to share about the metaverse, the podcast, and all that. Come one time on the Eden Town Hall of Dan and do a nice presentation about that. Your support, the killer of the presentation, the presentation killer, the best one in the galaxy. Come sometimes there also. That would be nice. Mackenber Sparrow for briefing and by wire. Come also on the Eden Town Hall on the Sunday if you want to present something. Everyone that wants to present something and promote is welcome.
Hey, by the way, sorry, I spaced. Thanks for mentioning Patrick. And yeah, everybody here, I believe, so with the Pomelo support. I like the idea of the blog on the creator site, not the creator site, the Eden elections. Maybe networking and more, maybe getting all of us to be like sub affiliates or something. A little bit with support, definitely the blog. We need our own communication. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, great point,
that's
Marco.
That's not only you. That should be everyone in this community. I know that no one has always the reflex to do the things, but here we are intelligent people, smart people. I think so. We have to encourage everyone to participate, to collaborate, to be more collaborative, because of what? Because we love what we do, and
we'll help each other more when we're collaborating. Yeah, so a couple things I want to add that. So yeah, thanks for inviting everybody to the Eden Town Halls. Those are every Sunday at 16 UTC. I encourage everybody to join.
And the EOS Fireside Chat today,
of course,
at 19 UTC. Go there and do some noise. I will go there. And I will say that I love Eden+Fractal. I will do some baby. I will do my Joker things. I love to do so because we have to be like that sometimes. Go out of the box to have the things. I will go there this night. I will share all the patience that I have for Eden+Fractal, all the respect that I have for you guys here. If you are not joining the EOS Fireside Chat, but Nova Joy is going there. So I will go there. Okay.
Sounds great. Thank you,
I think
Patrick,
it's
for
the
sharing
time
that
to say
enthusiasm.
baby here and to celebrate a little bit this Eden+Fractal as it should be and wrap it up with something.
Yes, but there are a couple of things I want to say first, though.
You want to say something?
Yeah. So first off, so that the Fireside Chat's coming up at 20 UTC. So that's a great event. Also, at the town halls, I'm happy to produce videos for people if you want to share some projects there. Invite everybody to join. And Eric's also hosting events regarding fractal governance and Saturdays at 11:30 UTC. So I recommend people check those out as well to learn more about what Eric is doing and what many people are doing with fractal governance. I also wanted to say back to what Lenny was saying like 10 minutes ago, that you made really great points about Vlalendas and sticking to rules and making it very simple for people. So I just want to say thank you, Lenny. I really appreciate your thought leadership and sharing your governance experience, especially over the past couple of weeks. You've been doing it more on the brainstorming sessions and here in the town halls. So I completely agree with what you're saying and just want to say thank you for that. And then I also wanted to just share a couple comments in the chat. Vlad said he's going to go as well. This was a while ago, but he said he'll answer Tadas's questions in Discord. And for the next meeting, it'd be good to create a document like Tadas created for Eden+Fractal. That way we can present it and vote. Also goes along with what Lenny was saying about writing it out and what Tadas was saying earlier. So yeah, we'll do that for next week. That can be our homework, so to speak, so that we can pass a proposal for a good agenda system next week and then get rolling with lots of different initiatives and topics and proposals. And then Matthias also wrote in the chat, great conversation. Good to see you guys are focusing on the concrete decision making. And he said that's much needed, in my opinion, the most difficult thing to solve. So yeah, thank you very much, Matthias, for sharing those thoughts. And I agree. And I'm excited about what we're doing, and it has taken us a while to figure this out, but we have a really good process coming up. So thank you, everybody. I'm looking forward to next week as well, and then we can start doing all sorts of awesome things. I'd be curious to hear if Matthias or Vlad or Charles or anybody wants to share any other thoughts. It seems like Matthias maybe wants to, but yeah, we can wrap it up as well, as Patrick was saying. Any more thoughts?
Yeah, well, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's, putting thoughts into this. It's really the most difficult thing to solve, especially also make it scale with 100, 1,000 people later. The way we talk now, taking a lot of time to talk and all that won't work if it grows, right? Obviously. So, and yeah, again, I guess you said it pretty well, everything. It's really the most difficult thing to solve, and but it's much needed. And I'm so curious about this because with my own project, I'm reaching a point now where I would like to hand over governance into a body like a fractal, but that only can work when concrete decision-making is in place. And the problem with this is it's so difficult to test, right? I mean, if you write a software, you can debug, you can write test cases, but with this process here, how do you really test that, right? You need to, right? I mean, there's no way you can unit test the system, right? It really has to be in place already. You have something to make concrete decisions on. And the question is, when are you ready to implement a system that you trust enough that it will not ruin everything, right? I mean, so far I'm pretty optimistic, because I think what we saw just through the ranking, it already leads to a nice selection of delegates, in my opinion, you know, people that really care and are also more or less aligned with everything. But, you know, when it comes to concrete decision makings, and also I heard the emergency proposals already, that this is also a thing, right? What happens if a fractal needs to react very quickly to a certain threat or a certain situation? You know, there are so many things, and it's very difficult to battle test this. So I'm very happy to also start a fractal with Zeos, and where we really have something very concrete to govern, and then see how it works. Yeah, I will definitely keep following here and you know, participate as much as I can, because I think, like, I mean, what you guys are doing here over the last weeks and the last months is exactly what I need, what I really need for my own project. And yeah, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. Yeah, this is all a really big social experiment, and it can go wrong in so many ways, right? But let's see. I think iterating is important, and I'm just happy to be here and to follow how this is going to play out over the next weeks, with some simple decisions here that are maybe not so, you know, important yet, you know, because there's nothing that can crash, right? But with the Zeos fractal, for instance, there will be smart contracts, there will be concrete parameters, and there will be concrete things that can go wrong if decisions are being made maybe not so good, right? So let's see where this is going. I'm just happy to see that you guys are very focused on this. So yeah, thanks for that.
Thank you, Matthias. That's mean a lot from you. And we need people like that, like you, coming again into this Eden+Fractal meetings, and maybe on an Eden+Fractal brainstorming session on next year, or on the last one on the 13th December, why not? But we need people like you, like Bishop, like Vlad, and Lenny, and Tadas, and yeah, my fellow Dancing Joy here. And we need people like that. Mackenbird Sparrow going to the sky with his flight one day for sure. And yeah, Eric also coming here. Other people of other fractals are welcome.
One day. I know
you are in the air. Are you in the air? Yeah, are you? Okay.
Of course.
So, of
No, but
course.
can I just say something on Matthias? I wouldn't call this a social experiment.
Excellent.
I'd say it's a need. It's an attempt at a solution for a need that's dire need in the modern society.
Yeah, that's inspiring. We are inspiring us, everyone here. Matthias is a very well-minded guy with Zelios. I encourage the people to see the video that will be published on the 9th. And Vlad also with CETF, that's just amazing. We have a breakdown in CETF. What does it mean, EOS ETF? And there are some links with Zelios at a point for sure. We need some privacy. So I love this community, so we have to wrap it up. Otherwise, we will speak 4 hours or 5. I think we have to wrap it up here. Dancing Joy, what do you think?
Sounds good. Yeah,
Okay.
Thanks so much, Patrick and Matthias and Marco, for sharing your thoughts. I just don't know if Marco was going to say anything more. I didn't want to cut him off, but if not, then I'd say it's a good time to wrap it up. And yeah, thanks so much.
You
Matthias,
guys heard me.
okay, yep, sounds great. I heard it. So yeah, thanks, Marco, for sharing your thoughts, and also Matthias. That was a great speech, and I'm in complete agreement. So
okay,
let's wrap it up, I'd say.
Let's go. I will ask to someone that is my virtual assistant. Moment. Patnova Joy, come here, please. Okay. Patnova Joy is joining you now. Very happy. I am your virtual assistant here. And we will wrap it up with something always fun for the people that are following that since a while. Thanks, we will say at 3, 2, 1, 0, we will say, go Eden+Fractal. But first, raise your hand when you are ready.
Ready to go.
Ready to go?
I think we're ready.
By the way, that's the process of the breakout room. And the main room also, we have to raise our hand. And I do a countdown. At 3, 2, 1, 0, we say, go Eden+Fractal, okay? Take some breath. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Go
Fractal! You understand?
Yes, thanks everybody so much for the great meeting. This has been an awesome
And at
meeting.
3, 2, 1, 0, we will say go EOS. And why? Why? Because it's the first fractal in nature. It's EOS. It has all the fractal paradigm in it. So take some breath, raise your hand.
We're ready.
Are you ready? Let's do it. 3, 2, 1, 0.
Go heroes!
You understand?
Oh, yeah.
We are not just here for one day. We are heroes and lions, not ships. See you.
It's been great catching up. Thank you all. Have a great day
Partner
and take
enjoy
care.
and dance enjoy.
Now we need to sit down and watch the Argentinians. See if I go. See you guys.
Yeah, see you. Thanks everybody so much. See you next week.
Yeah.